On a particularly stormy day, a man was hunting desperately for food, determined to survive alongside someone named Liu Yuan and evade the grasp of hunger's cruel fate. His desperation had driven him to track down a bird, a potential savior of their hunger-stricken souls. With unyielding focus, he captured the bird, extinguishing its life with his hand. The idea formed in his mind that the bird's wings could fetch a substantial price to sustain them for days to come. Unexpectedly, the man's head throbbed intensely, a sensation that usually afflicted him at midnight, but it arrived prematurely. These episodes plagued him since his narrow escape from a menacing pack of wolves. Villagers suggested that these headaches were mere remnants of the wolf encounter, yet they had been unlike any pain he had known before, akin to a tumultuous storm in his mind. In an unusual twist, his consciousness remained intact during this episode. When he awoke, his surroundings transformed into a palace, with a mysterious door beckoning his curiosity. His intrigue pulled him towards the door, which swung open to reveal a room bathed in an enigma, and at its heart stood a table, an object poised upon its surface. Before his curiosity could unearth its nature, the dream had shattered, plunging him back into the cold reality of the pouring rain. A deep sense of wonder overtook him as he contemplated the nature of this place, the purpose of the object teasing his thoughts. In the blink of an eye, the dream dissipated, returning him to the reality of heavy rainfall and impending confrontation. As rain fell in relentless torrents, a stranger approached, demanding possession of the hunted prey. Swiftly, the man took matters into his own hands, incapacitating the stranger. But a new twist emerged. A screen materialized before him, instructing him to gift the prey to another. His red eyes met the stranger's who tried to rob him, and the stranger was filled with gratitude for the salvaged sustenance. The prey had changed hands, joy radiating from the recipient. Returning his gaze to the screen, the man discovered an intricate skill tree awaiting his exploration. Questions flooded his mind, pondering the mechanics of this newfound power. Meanwhile, the recipient of his gift still extended appreciation, the act of gratitude prolonging his exit. With a sudden burst of determination, the man seized back the bird from the grateful hands of the recipient and sprinted off into the rain. Returning to the village, murmurs rippled through the crowd as villagers exchanged hushed observations about his successful prey capture once more. Their hostile intent started to brew, poised for confrontation, but their eagerness was abruptly quelled by the intervention of a man who stood between them and the returning hunter. With purpose etched into his steps, he strode toward a figure, the bird clutched in his grip, and briskly slammed it onto a nearby table. Inquiring about its potential worth, the question hung heavy in the air. Startled, the other man, Wang, stammered, urging the red-eyed hunter to handle the delicate transaction with care. Explaining its value, he uttered the name Zhao Su, the words laden with a certain gravitas. A rapid calculation placed the bird's value at around 700 units, yet this was far from satisfactory for Xiao Su. The negotiations danced on the edge of a delicate precipice. 800, then 900 units exchanged for the winged commodity. Declaring this sum insufficient, he ventured toward another merchant stall, only to be halted by the wealthy man Wang. A challenge was thrown, a price was demanded, and Xiao Su countered with 1,200, a sum that secured his desired reward. The purchase made, he acquired a padded cotton coat, a small yet significant gesture toward Liu Yuan's well-being. The pursuit of further provisions led him to inquire about the cost of a pill, only to find his funds lacking. Retracing his steps back home, he returned to the presence of the young boy named Liu Yuan, a relationship akin to that of brothers. Excitement fueled Liu Yuan's greeting addressed to Xiao Su, his elder. Instead of academic pursuits, the young one harbored the desire to stand alongside Xiao Su, to share in the hunting exploits. Wisdom, Xiao Su countered, was a commodity more valuable than the thrill of the hunt. His thoughts drifted toward the cost of education, a barrier too high for him to scale. Tasked with utilizing the bird's organs, Xiao Su readied a soup, a meager yet nourishing reprieve. Fraternal contention ensued over who should partake, the elder asserting the right of the younger to consume the sustenance for healing. Tearful eyes conveyed the poignant reality of a recent loss, a life claimed by infection. Sternly, Xiao Su imparted a lesson. Tears had no place in this unforgiving world. His vision for Liu Yuan extended beyond present circumstances, rooted in the young one's unique talents, to study and to rise above survival's struggles. These were the aspirations that shaped his counsel. In the aftermath of his outburst, Xiao Su's demeanor softened, and he urged Liu Yuan to eat and embrace the new coat purchased for him. Curiosity surfaced in Liu Yuan's inquiry about Xiao Su's attire, met with a dismissive response. As the meal concluded, Xiao Su reclined, lost in thought. Visions of the mysterious palace from earlier that day rekindled his musings. A mirage of the mind or something more? The ethereal domain once again unfurled before him, a place both distinct and insubstantial. The odd table drew his attention anew, adorned this time with an enigmatic typewriter. A scripture rested upon the surface, reflecting the mission accomplished earlier. The typewriter beckoned, etching words that read like virtues: fairness, righteousness, honesty, trust, ally, Kindness. Were these instructions to embody these principles in a world of discord? A realization dawned. There were no doors to this place. The scene transitioned. A woman advanced toward the dwelling shared by Luan and Xiao Su. An alarm resounded within Luan. His gaze locked onto the intruder who, in a swift, menacing gesture, placed a knife at her throat. Luan's realization dawned like a sudden burst of light. The woman upon whose throat the knife had been pressed was none other than Xiao Yujie. Her voice trembled as she confessed that she assumed Luan was already asleep. Concern for Xiao Su emerged, and she sought to know more about his wounds. Glimpsing the sorrow etched on her features, Luan asked if she had feelings for his older brother. Acknowledging their 8-year age gap, he awaited her response. Shockingly, she asserted that she viewed them both as younger brothers, then departed with a promise to return once Xiao Su awakened. Unknown to her, Xiao Su had been awake all along, his awareness a silent presence in the room. He imparted a gentle lesson to Luan, urging him to treat Yujie with kindness. Yet Luan's reservations surfaced. He'd witnessed her smoking a few days prior and questioned the source of her cigarettes. Suspicion brewed as he speculated that she might be drawn to Xiao Su for his successful hunts. Xiao Su, however, countered that purity was a rare concept in their world, where survival required dirty hands. He advised Luan to maintain politeness, steering clear of bullying her. As Luan queried Xiao Su's unexpected wakefulness, Xiao Su divulged his musings and hinted at a latent, perhaps unique ability within himself. His skepticism about people's abilities once gave way when Luan's plea for prey materialized, albeit with a cost. Fevers and minor accidents. A shooting star streaked the night sky, inviting Luan's wish. Xiao Su cautioned him against rash desires, as consequences might arise. The next day found Luan in class, studying technology. Outside, Xiao Su watched, leaning against a window frame. The teacher motioned him to stand by the entrance and listen, an opportunity seized gratefully. A cigarette exchanged hands as a gesture of gratitude. Curiosity fueled Xiao Su's query. Why did technology vanish after the catastrophe? The teacher's response underscored the chaos of that time, with survival itself a remarkable achievement. Xiao Su inquired if remnants of knowledge remained, and the teacher explained it was held by a select few. Xiao Su challenged the need for the immense barriers around their living space, suggesting unity could deter attacks from beasts like wolves. Breaking down the barriers could yield technology and revive civilization. The teacher offered a pragmatic counter. The financial consortium benefited from cheap labor within the barriers, ensuring its stability. As the teacher finished half of his cigarette, he retreated to change his clothes. In that fleeting moment, a screen materialized before Xiao Su again, bearing a new mission, to teach what he had learned. Xiao Su proceeded to the classroom, where the teacher imparted lessons on survival skills. Amid the instruction, he posed a hypothetical question. How would they fend off a pack of wolves? His gaze settled on Xiao Su, leaving the room momentarily silenced. Xiao Su recited a response that made the teacher feel proud, suggesting a high vantage point for safety. Xiao Su also noted that it might also be a prime burial spot, a remark that cast doubt on the teacher's confidence. Xiao Lu contemplated why his mission wasn't marked as complete, having shared what he'd learned with the teacher. Addressing his teacher, Xiao Lu raised an unconventional point. Wolves were almost mythical, survival was fleeting, and choosing where to face death might be the wisest decision. The teacher was rendered speechless by the stark pragmatism. An unexpected twist followed. The teacher instructed Xiao Su to lead the survival class and permitted him to sit among the students. The mission was accomplished, and gratitude filled the air. Xiao Su recognized the existence of his unique ability and the veracity of the palace he had encountered. He grasped the magnitude of his newfound power, an additional strength of 1.0, elevating him above the standard human strength of 3.0. This revelation boosted his survival odds, a realization that dawned as the class concluded. Luan inquired if the teacher was grooming Xiao Su as a successor, prompting a playful response. Maybe the teacher just wanted more cigarettes. Xiao Su jestingly talked about passing on his role to Luan, declaring that the wilderness was his true domain. Amid their journey, a chance to eavesdrop yielded a mercenary conversation. They discussed an enigmatic expedition to Jin Mountain, pondering whether wealthy man Wang might provide guidance. Xiao Su perceived the futility of such a venture for mercenaries, a journey to their demise. A girl with an air of wildness brushed past Xiao Su, her aura akin to that of a beast. Luan contemplated whether rich man Wang would choose Xiao Su as a guide due to his wilderness familiarity. Xiao Su dispelled the notion, asserting that Jin Mountain was no place for survival. Xiao Su advised Luan to steer clear of this group, sensing something amiss. Back home, Luan noticed Xiao Su's unhealed wound, but Xiao Su downplayed it. Approaching footsteps heralded the return of the mercenaries, accompanied by rich man Wang. Xiao Su stepped forward and congratulated the rich man Wang on his safe delivery, expressing joy at the safety of father and son. The mercenaries were taken aback, their shock palpable. One mercenary questioned if Xiao Su was crazy, leaving them bewildered by Xiao Su's calculated eccentricity. Their departure brought forth another message on the screen, a random selection of a target's learning ability. The extraction of marksmanship skills was proposed. The screen queried whether to confirm learning, and Xiao Su's response was a resounding yes. Reverberating with excitement and anticipation, Xiao Su's heart raced as he came to a sudden realization. A newfound ability manifested within him. He could now copy the abilities of others. The screen flickered to life once again, announcing that he acquired the knowledge of high-grade marksmanship. A surge of excitement coursed through him, as he understood that this power extended beyond mere basics. He had the potential to acquire advanced skills from others. A bewildering thought crossed his mind. He assumed that his base ability would only encompass fundamentals, but the screen explained that he could learn intricate abilities from different people. Overwhelmed by the sheer potential, he marveled at the immense power he held. His attention shifted to the girl he had brushed past earlier. He couldn't resist asking the screen about her marksmanship level. To his astonishment, she had perfected it. Confusion clouded his thoughts as he wondered why someone so skilled was part of a group of mercenaries. The oddity of the situation perplexed him. He snapped back to reality when Luan questioned his lingering gaze on the departing group. But then, another surprise emerged. Xiao Yujie suddenly appeared, claiming that she had swapped houses with the previous occupants and was now their neighbor. Luan whispered to Xiao Su about Yujie's determination, highlighting how she had given up a comfortable stone brick house for a humble abode next to them. Xiao Su bid farewell to Yujie, his mind grappling with the thought of her settling next door. His focus then shifted to some potatoes and medicine left behind, a scene that had occurred before. A realization dawned. It was Yujie's doing. As the narrative unfolded, Xiao Su found himself face to face with a distressing scene. Yujie was being harassed by a man, her screams echoing in his ears. He rushed to her aid, and at that moment, a mission was assigned to him. Help her. With determination, he seized the harasser by the head and swiftly put an end to the threat. Curiosity led him to question Yujie about the man's identity. She revealed that he was the lead worker at the coal mine, responsible for a recent fatal stabbing. The motive had been to pay off gambling debts, a gruesome plan that had been carried out ruthlessly. In a sudden twist, Xiao Su found himself facing a moral dilemma. Another mission appeared, urging him to let the enemy go. He obeyed, delivering a parting warning and a mild injury. The reason behind his decision became clear. The village's rudimentary clinic would never be able to save the man. Relief washed over Luan upon realizing Xiao Su's strategic thinking. Noticing Yujie's smoking habit, Xiao Su broached the topic delicately, suggesting that poppy straw could be a way to help her quit. He added that he was aware of his handsome face and told her that they could never work out. Yujie chuckled and reassured him that she thought of Luan and Xiao Su as her younger brothers, dispelling any awkwardness from the conversation. As the story progressed, the typewriter in the palace clicked with a sense of purpose. Xiao Su's side missions were set in motion, his path unfolding with each decision he made. Xiao Su's eyes locked onto the script's words, revealing his mission. By acquiring 100 appreciations from the heart, you will unlock weapons. You can also use appreciation to trade for items. This directive felt peculiar, especially because of its specificity. The mission demanded genuine appreciation from Li Xiaoyu. Determined, he took in the challenge. As soon as he woke up, the first thing Xiao Su did was approach Yuan. He prompted Yuan to thank him sincerely, curious about the outcome. A sense of brotherly connection prompted him to express gratitude for Yuan's unwavering care. A slight smile graced Xiao Su's lips as he notched a +1 appreciation from Yan Liu Yuan. However, the task felt deceptively easy, and Xiao Su pushed further, asking Yuan to express deeper gratitude. Disappointingly, his request was met with silence, the magic seemingly elusive this time. Undeterred, Xiao Su repeated the process, urging Yuan to thank him from his heart. The night progressed with Yuan's genuine expressions of appreciation filling the air, yet only one appreciation point was added to Xiao Su's tally. The seeming ease of the task and its elusive nature swirled in his thoughts. Again within the palace, Xiao Su's focus shifted to the typewriter, a mysterious ally in his quest. A coin materialized in his hand, etched with engraved words of appreciation. He followed the mechanical prompt, placing the coin into a slot, and with a resounding clank, a vial of medicine emerged. Puzzled yet intrigued, he contemplated its use, a sort of vending machine imbued with appreciation. His musings were interrupted when Yuan noticed a small bottle in Xiao Su's possession. Swiftly, Xiao Su applied the mysterious liquid to his arm. Astonishingly, the wound he had didn't hurt. Thoughts of its worth flooded his mind. Selling this medicine for a fortune crossed his thoughts. His ingenuity brimmed as he contemplated ways to garner gratitude. As dawn broke, Xiao Su found himself before his classroom, ready for his first replacement teaching session. The tiredness in his and Yuan's eyes didn't go unnoticed by the observant teacher. Questions arose, and Xiao Su was questioned about his lesson plans for the day. With resolve, he stepped into his role as an educator. In front of a sea of expectant faces, he addressed the children. He shared his perspective on the value of education, emphasizing that teachers stood all day while the students sat and learned. He proposed a change in salutations, urging the students to replace "Good morning, teacher" with "Thank you, teacher." The lesson began, and Xiao Su urged them to express their gratitude. Curiously, No points were gained at this moment. Unperturbed, he delved into the curriculum, teaching them basic survival skills. Hours slipped away, and the sun started its descent. A young student pointed out the dimming light and the encroaching sense of danger in the town as night approached. He concluded the class, and as the students offered their thanks and dispersed, Xiao Su's appreciation tally increased by 2 points. Inwardly, he contemplated the fruit of his efforts, acknowledging that hard work truly yielded rewards. The peculiar yet compelling mission unfolded like a puzzle, and Xiao Su was determined to piece it together, unlocking both appreciation and a newfound understanding of his potential. Yuan's request for shorter classes fell upon Xiao Su's ears. However, he refused, standing firm in his commitment to his educational career. In a fervent defense, he expressed his willingness to dedicate his life to teaching. Xiao Su turned the question to Luan, wondering why it was wrong to teach a little longer, revealing his true motivation: the heartfelt appreciation from his students. Yuan interjected, mentioning that the mercenaries were associated with Liu. Amidst these discussions, Rich Man Wang approached Xiao Su, conveying that he missed out on a golden opportunity. He explained that those who managed to cross the barrier were truly wealthy individuals. Xiao Su's thoughts churned as he contemplated the barrier's implications. He deduced that it impeded not only outsiders, but also restricted movement from within. The residents within the wall were trapped, while those on the outside employed various tactics to breach it. Rich Man Wang suggested that guides for tourists would be valuable assets in the future, insisting that Xiao Su might never come across such an opportunity again. Yuan supported the notion, pointing out Xiao Su's strength compared to Liu's. Frustration welled up in Xiao Su, and he urged Luan to accompany him home. As they journeyed homeward, they chanced upon Yu Jie at a pawn shop, trading her earrings for money. Xiao Su reimbursed her for the medicine he provided earlier, advising her not to part with her earrings. Yu Jie promised to assist with household chores in return. Amidst their conversation, another scene unfolded. A man pleaded with a nearby doctor to help save his family's ailing son. The doctor refused, citing a lack of payment. An idea sparked in Xiao Su's mind. He could use the magical skill he acquired to heal people and earn both payment and appreciation. The notion served as a dual-purpose solution. The following day, Xiao Su positioned himself outside the clinic and instructed the doctor to ignore him. He harbored a plan to copy the doctor's skill, but to his surprise, the doctor's skill seemed to involve deception. Xiao Su's reputation as the infamous town thug dissuaded the doctor from crossing him. Despite the odd encounter, Xiao Su continued his search for the medical skill. Eventually, he uncovered the truth. The medical doctor possessed no skill at all. Frustration boiled over, and Xiao Su confronted the doctor, demanding answers. He was appalled by the doctor's years of scamming people. In a moment of inspiration, a solution formed in his mind. He could become a medical doctor, specializing in treating knife cuts, capitalizing on his newfound healing ability. The pieces fell into place, and Xiao Su set his sights on an unconventional yet promising path. Upon his return, Xiao Su noticed Yu Jie's presence. She was diligently mending their clothes and had prepared a meal for them. Under his brother's prompting, Yuan expressed his gratitude to Yu Jie, but the atmosphere shifted as she scolded Xiao Su for his habit of hitting his younger brother. Yu Jie then summoned Xiao Su to receive his share of the food, reminding him of their growing needs. Xiao Yu, recognizing Yu Jie's sewing skills, suggested she join them in opening a wound clinic. Her question about this sudden aspiration prompted Xiao Yu to explain his plans. Back in the palace, Xiao Su found himself once again seeking rewards for his recent endeavors. He contemplated the appreciation coins he had, 3 remaining after using one for a bottle of medication. As he calculated the potential, he realized that 1 coin could procure a bottle of medicine, capable of healing 3 people. Profiting from this venture seemed inevitable. Satisfied, he drifted into slumber. The next day, Xiao Su ventured out to collect herbs, a facade to make people think he was making medicine. A curious man questioned his actions, and Xiao Su discreetly explained that he was collecting herbs for his wounds. As villagers observed him cooking the medicine, he wondered why no one was inquiring. With a nudge, he signaled a man to approach and ask him about his task. The response highlighted the medicine's multifaceted benefits. However, no one seemed interested and dismissed the notion, assuming Xiao Su was merely enduring his wounds. The man whom Xiao Su had prompted earlier eventually left, albeit reluctantly, after applying the medicine. The following day, Rich Man Wang queried Xiao Su about his medicine. A deal was struck. Xiao Su sold a bottle for 600 units, and in return, he garnered an appreciation point. The pieces of his unconventional yet profitable plan continued to fall into place, weaving together a narrative of both healing and financial gain. Xiao Su's clinic was up and running, a beacon of hope amidst the town's challenges. A group of injured men was seen heading towards a nearby clinic, but Xiao Su intercepted them, guiding them to his establishment. He revealed that the other clinic was a scam and welcomed them to his care. Yu Jie arrived, her presence adding a sense of order. Curious about the source of their wounds, she learned that a factory boiler explosion had caused their injuries. Xiao Su learned that while some could make their way from the factory to the clinic, others were too severely hurt to make the journey. He realized that these men were likely being abandoned and left to die so their belongings could be stolen. Assessing the situation, Xiao Su instructed Yu Jie on the basics of wound treatment. He urged her to sanitize a needle for suturing, comparing it to patching up clothes. As Yu Jie heated the needle for sterilization, she immediately started working, causing one man to yelp in pain, urging her to wait for it to cool. Xiao Su intervened, explaining that it was her first day and she was learning. With the medicine applied, he quoted a fee of 600 units, only for the man to flee without payment. However, Xiao Su's swift actions showed that escaping wouldn't be so easy. He apprehended the man and tended to his other wounds with Yu Jie's assistance. The patients expressed astonishment at the effectiveness of the medicine. With this successful treatment, Xiao Su accomplished a mission, earning rewards of increased strength and agility. Another mission arose to heal 10 patients, a testament to his growing clinic's potential. As time passed, news broke of a wolf pack invading the town. Yuan questioned whether the wolves might come their way. Xiao Su assured him that the wolves were intelligent enough to avoid their area, having been drawn by the scent of blood from the explosion. Suddenly, a commanding voice echoed through the town. "Assemble!" The soldiers armed with guns emerged to counter the wolf threat. Yu Jie raised a concern about the stability of the town's barriers. Xiao Su acknowledged that nothing was eternal, and that the barriers could indeed collapse. With a sense of purpose, he directed Luan to stay at Yu Jie's house for the night, as he prepared to depart somewhere. While preoccupied with his thoughts, the fake doctor from Xiao Su's rival clinic caught a glimpse of Xiao Su as he strode purposefully toward a specific destination. Intrigued, he watched as Xiao Su headed toward the factory. Xiao Su contemplated the strange scenario of wolves attacking factory supervisors armed with weapons. Nevertheless, Xiao Su had a clear objective in mind: to retrieve unused guns left behind in the factory. Upon reaching the factory grounds, he took note of the private army engaged in a heated skirmish with the invading wolves. This led him to deduce that, at least for the moment, the factory might provide a safe. Observing the ongoing conflict, Xiao Su's attention was drawn to the swift and brutal efficiency of the wolves as they incapacitated their victims with a single bite. With a determined resolve, Xiao Su entered the building, nimbly ascending its structure through a conveniently accessible window. Inside, he was met with the grim aftermath of a fierce battle. The positioning of the lifeless bodies suggested a common direction of movement, hinting at either a potential refuge or a cache of weaponry. Following this subtle trail, Xiao Su arrived at what appeared to be an emergency evacuation point. Knocking on the door, his presence was greeted by a man named Wang Dongyang, who, mistaken by fear, initially assumed Xiao Su was part of the private army. Upon realizing Xiao Su's true identity, Wang Dongyang disclosed his actual intentions: a sinister plan to ensnare Xiao Su within a trap of his devising. With nerves of steel, Wang Dongyang trained his gun on Xiao Su, who maintained an outward calm. Curiosity got the better of him, and Xiao Su queried the reasoning behind Wang Dongyang's solitary presence in the evacuation unit. Wang Dongyang retorted with a blend of anger and defensiveness, suggesting that perhaps he was the first to arrive, inadvertently leaving others in peril. However, Xiao Su countered with a touch of sarcasm, implying that nobody knew Wang Dongyang's behavior better than his father. A tense standoff ensued. In a split-second realization, Xiao Su noticed the safety pin on Wang Dongyang's gun was engaged. Reacting with lightning speed, he disarmed Wang Dongyang before any harm could be done. The confrontation escalated as Wang Dongyang desperately implored for his life, offering information regarding a concealed stash of money. His true motive became apparent: a ploy to bide his time until the arrival of the army. But Xiao Su saw through the ruse and issued a stern warning, indicating that Wang Dongyang's chances were rapidly dwindling. Taking swift and decisive action, he concluded the encounter, emerging victorious from this perilous confrontation. From Wang Dongyang's possession, Xiao Su secured both ammunition and a firearm, solidifying his upper hand in this dangerous and complex situation. Returning home, Xiao Su was met with Yuan's concern. He inquired if anything noteworthy had occurred during his absence. Yuan responded that private army soldiers had returned, bearing casualties. The soldiers brought back both their fallen comrades and wolf corpses, sparking rumors that the remaining wolves were still heading to the factory. Xiao Su reflected that the firearms used against the wolves had proved effective. With the private army's armed intervention, the wolves' chances of victory dwindled. Outside his door, soldiers stood watch. Xiao Su questioned his choice to make it appear as though Wang Dong had been attacked by wolves. He contemplated whether ordinary people would recognize the ruse, and whether anyone had discovered the missing gun. The clinic doctor who had previously helped him intervened when one of the soldiers inquired about anyone leaving the town that night. The scammer doctor claimed to have seen Xiao Su and insisted that they should question him. Richman Wang said that Xiao Su was one of Boss Lu's men, and that the soldiers should not mess with him. The soldier remained stern, declaring that even Boss Lu's influence wouldn't protect Xiao Su this time. The soldiers searched his home, while Luan prayed fervently that they wouldn't find any incriminating evidence. Fortunately, the soldiers found nothing of suspicion within Xiaosu's modest dwelling, and they withdrew. Xiaosu expressed gratitude to Richman Wang for his assistance and sought information about Boss Luo. Richman Wang revealed that Boss Luo held the position of number 113 in the barrier's representative hierarchy within the Qing's financial group. An interest in the medicine Xiaosu possessed was evident, as Boss Luo offered him safety outside the barrier in exchange for a regular supply of the medicine. Xiaosu inquired if Wang could facilitate his entry into the barrier. Wang explained that as polluted individuals, they were prohibited from entering. Moreover, even if they were allowed, who would gather herbs in the wild for Boss Luo? Xiaosu realized that while Boss Luo needed him, he wouldn't grant him access to the barrier. A tense moment followed as Luan clung to his elder brother and fainted, the weight of the situation overwhelming him. The air seemed to hold its breath as Xiaosu caught his brother, his concern evident. Within the modest walls of his home, Luan's fevered form lay sprawled on a makeshift bed, his breath shallow and labored. Xiaosu's eyes were etched with worry as he knelt beside his older brother. "This fever," he murmured, his voice heavy with concern. "It's no ordinary ailment. I pray I never have to witness such suffering again." Luan's eyelids fluttered, revealing eyes clouded by illness. "But what if you yourself find trouble?" his weakened voice inquired, a testament to his siblings' unwavering loyalty. Amidst the shadows of the room, Yu Jie stood, a figure softened by remorse. He approached with a tentative demeanor, his voice a whisper in the tense atmosphere. "I'm truly sorry for what transpired before," he confessed, his eyes holding Xiaosu's gaze. Xiaosu's features, etched with exhaustion, softened as he met Yu Jie's gaze. "Your actions speak of your character," he acknowledged, "and I promise that I'll work tirelessly to ensure a secure and comfortable future for you and Luan." Morning's embrace finally arrived, casting its hopeful light across the town. Richman Wang, a symbol of wealth and opportunity, approached with a congratulatory smile. "Congratulations," he declared, his eyes dancing with warmth. He shared that the scammer doctor had fled, vanishing into the shadows with ill-gotten gains. With a reassuring pat on Xiaosu's shoulder, Wang confirmed that now, Xiaosu was the sole doctor in town, a role that carried both weight and honor. But there was more yet to unfold. The barrier supervisor gifted the clinic of the previous doctor to Xiaosu. This dwelling, once inhabited by the deceitful scammer, now belonged to Xiaosu. "You can move in right away," the rich man Wang proclaimed, his tone one of approval. Wang's thoughtful generosity extended beyond mere gestures. He presented a gift to both Xiaosu and Liu Luan, a treasure from his past, an intricately woven bird's nest. A puzzled expression formed on Xiaosu's face as he inspected the offering. "A bird's nest?" he repeated inquisitively, curious about its significance. Xiaosu's explanation shed light on the matter. "It's made from swallow's saliva," he revealed, his eyes gleaming with newfound knowledge. He attributed his awareness to Mr. Zhang Jinlin, a source of wisdom in the town. Wang's initial perplexity transformed into a mixture of amusement and exasperation. He demanded the nest's return, but Xiaosu's laughter resonated with the truth. It had all been a jest. Soon the conversation segued into more serious territory, delving into the intricacies of business and survival. As the talk shifted to medicine, Wang's question lingered. "Why do you need more?" he inquired, wondering about Xiaosu's intentions. With a sly smile, Xiaosu posed a counter-question. "Didn't you just buy some?" he retorted, his tone tinged with playful irony. Wang's response hinted at his purpose. He was concerned for the people at the border, where the medicine's efficacy was sorely needed. The transaction, priced at 1,200, had garnered an appreciation point, emphasizing its significance. Amidst this whirlwind of events, a message from the palace demanded Xiaosu's attention. The query it posed was pivotal. Did he wish to continue his mission to cure 10 people? Xiaosu's reply was unwavering. Yes, a testament to his commitment to make a difference. The town's life continued to unfold. Inside the newly gifted brick clinic, a couple ventured in, their presence a testament to Xiaosu's growing reputation. A man, his expression one of earnest honesty, led his expectant wife forward. With a humility that echoed through his words, he admitted his lack of knowledge in dealing with pregnant women. Xiaosu's appreciative smile and nod were his response, a silent recognition of the importance of vulnerability and authenticity. The tapestry of life in the town continued to weave its threads, intricate and interconnected, as individuals and their stories converged and diverged, driven by hopes, challenges, and the unyielding spirit of progress. In the wake of tireless efforts, Xiaosu's relentless dedication bore fruit as he achieved his initial goal of curing 10 patients. The reward, a boost of 1.0 strength, rippled through his being, a tangible testament to his growth. The townsfolk's gratitude for his healing touch was evident not only in the recovered patients, but also in the appreciations that began to accumulate like drops of rain in a parched land. But this accomplishment was merely a stepping stone, for the next phase of his mission beckoned. curing 20 patients, a challenge that stirred a fire of determination within him. With a mix of pride and curiosity, Xiao Su turned his attention inward. He contemplated his current strength and agility stats, the numbers standing as a testament to his journey's progress. His gaze danced over the figures, strength at 5.5 and agility at 4.1. A satisfied smile curled his lips, a quiet affirmation of his steady evolution. However, Luan, his younger brother and a voice of practicality, couldn't help but question Xiao Su's approach. Why not treat all of them? Luan's voice held a trace of pragmatism, the notion that all patients were sources of potential income lingering in the air. Xiao Su's response resonated with a sense of responsibility that ran deep within him. "I can't compromise someone's health for monetary gain," he stated firmly, his eyes reflecting the earnestness of his commitment. Luan's retort carried the weight of an alternative perspective. "The previous doctor didn't share your reservations," he pointed out, the words carrying a mixture of observation and mild criticism. A shadow flitted across Xiao Su's expression as he acknowledged the truth in Luan's words. "We can't afford to be reckless like him," he replied, his tone laced with a blend of caution and wisdom. "Look at where his choices led him, alone and abandoned when he needed help the most." Luan's gaze held a mix of melancholy and understanding as he pondered their situation. "We're not likely to find help easily either," he murmured, a tinge of resignation in his voice. "Especially not during this time of year. Many would prefer us gone." Xiao Su's hand found its way to Luan's shoulder, a comforting gesture that spoke volumes. "Let the sorrows of this era not become your own," he advised, his words a poignant reminder that they had the power to shape their destiny despite the challenges they faced. Amid their conversation, an unexpected guest interrupted their contemplative exchange. A man entered the room, his expression a blend of concern and urgency as he confided in Xiao Su about his body's unusual behavior. He implored Xiao Su to keep this matter secret, locking the door behind him before exhaling a delicate bubble that hung suspended in the air. With a reassuring nod, Xiao Su addressed the man's unease. "You possess supernatural abilities," he explained gently, his voice a soothing balm. "There's no harm done. You're safe." The man's gratitude shone through his eyes, a quiet acknowledgement of the relief Xiao Su's words provided. With newfound hope, he left to share the news with his parents, his steps lighter and his burden seemingly lifted. Yet, as the night's curtain of darkness fell upon the town, a series of thudding sounds disrupted the peaceful ambience. Xiao Su's instincts kicked in as he swiftly ventured out to investigate the source. The sight that greeted him was a group of shadowy figures, ill intent glinting in their eyes. The situation escalated rapidly, but Xiao Su's strength and agility proved to be his allies as he skillfully subdued the attackers, compelling them to confront the consequences of their actions. During the tense encounter, a chilling voice pierced through the night, a voice that radiated authority and resolve, demanding the door's immediate opening. A flicker of apprehension danced within Xiao Su's mind as he stood firm, ready to confront whatever challenge lay beyond that door, his determination unwavering in the face of adversity. As the night draped the town in obscurity, a disconcerting clamor pierced the stillness. Agitated voices, carrying a mix of determination and urgency, rose outside Xiao Su's clinic. The demands for entry were accompanied by the unsettling clatter of footsteps, a blend of confrontation and menace. Xiao Su's heart raced as he approached the door, a hint of trepidation mingling with his resolve. Drawing a breath, he opened the door to confront the intruders. Around his neck hung a banner, a Luo Lan's mark, a symbol he hoped would deter any unwarranted searches. A flicker of hope danced in his eyes as he met the men's gaze, silently imploring them to move along. Yet despite the banner's presence, the men's intent remained unwavering. They demanded entry and began to search, their actions casting doubt on Xiao Su's strategy. His frustration grew as he confronted this unwarranted intrusion, his voice firm as he questioned their motivations. "Why the second search?" he asked, his voice tinged with exasperation. He sought clarity, an understanding of the reasons that had led them to this point. The man leading the group, Wang Kongyang, responded with a tone that carried a mix of authority and defiance. He spoke his name openly, as if daring Xiao Su to challenge him. "If you want to report us to Boss Luo," he stated coolly, "just say my name." Xiao Su's senses perked as the name registered in his mind. It was familiar, a reminder of the tangled web of allegiances and tensions that governed the town's dynamics. Would knowing this man's name grant him any advantage? Or was it a mere token of familiarity that would yield no real power? As the search yielded no results once again, Xiao Su's relief was tinged with a sense of foreboding. Kong Yang's proposition caught him off guard, the offer to join them as a subordinate based on his perceived strength. It was a path he could take, yet his principles and loyalties held him back. Unbeknownst to them, Xiao Su had hidden the gun he acquired in the mountains, a precaution taken during one of his herb-gathering expeditions. His grip tightened on the knowledge, aware that it was a card he held close to his chest, a secret that held the potential to shape the events unfolding around him. The following morning ushered in the return of the mercenary squad after a week's absence. Fatigue and weariness clung to their forms, but one figure stood distinct, a formidable girl who appeared untouched by the challenges they faced. Their first destination was Wang, a man who now found himself in the crosshairs of their questioning. The mercenaries' displeasure was palpable, their irritation aimed at Wang's poor choice of a tour guide. The man they had dispatched led them astray for 3 days, a situation that frustrated and disheartened them. In the face of their anger, Wang's voice trembled with fear as he inquired about the tour guide's fate. The woman who confronted him didn't mince words, revealing the grim truth. Death had claimed the misguided guide, his body swallowed by the river. Xiao Su's mind churned as he pondered the river, a place he never heard of harboring such dangers. A demand for Xiao Su's presence followed the mercenaries seeking the guidance only he could provide. Wang hesitated, fear and desperation etched across his features. Xiao Su offered a solution, creating a map that Wang could utilize, a way for them to navigate the treacherous mountains. This approach would enable them to access the coveted barrier, an offer that could potentially reshape the town's dynamics. Wang's reluctance was evident, his reasons starkly contrasted against Xiao Su's agile abilities. A son and responsibilities at home added to his hesitation. Xiao Su countered, mentioning his commitments. Yu Jie and Luan. I'd guide them if I were 20 years younger. Wang confessed a wistful note in his voice. His motivations lay in his desire to protect Xiao Su, a realization that began to melt the walls of resentment. Sarcasm laced Xiao Su's response, the tension between them momentarily breaking. Then I should be thanking your entire lineage, he quipped, his words punctuated by a hint of irony. An unexpected twist emerged. The confrontation between Xiao Su and Wang earned him an appreciation point. As the scene unfolded, another development caught Xiao Su's attention. A man with supernatural abilities was being led away by soldiers, a sight that bore an air of mystery and raised countless questions in Xiao Su's mind. As the town's tapestry of events continued to unfold, a chilling incident shattered the delicate equilibrium. Wang, driven by desperation, pleaded with soldiers who held Zhang Baogen, the man bearing supernatural abilities, in their grasp. His fervent pleas fell on deaf ears as the soldiers pushed him aside, their actions bearing an air of ruthless authority. Wang's eyes met Xiao Su's, a mixture of fear and concern flickering in their depths. Wang's voice trembled as he relayed the truth to Xiao Su, a truth that sent shivers down their spines. Word spread that Bao Zhen unwittingly revealed his powers to friends, and these friends reported him. The conversation took a darker turn as Wang turned the question back to Xiao Su. What would you do if you were afraid of someone? Wang's words held an undercurrent of gravity. Xiao Su's response brimmed with animosity, a simple kill him escaping his lips. But Wang's voice resonated with a complexity that belied the simplicity of Xiao Su's answer. It's not that easy, he explained. The barrier's actions were driven by a fear that had roots in a collective trauma, a fear that painted those with superpowers as potential enemies. A sudden eruption of blood-curdling screams pierced the air, the sound sending shockwaves through the town. Horror painted the scene. The man with supernatural abilities' father was slaughtering his child's friends. Their betrayal, their reporting of his powers, had triggered an uncontrollable rage within him. The father, too, fell victim to the deadly outbreak of violence, while the mother's desperate intervention led to her demise. As the chaos unfolded, an unsettling undercurrent of judgment flowed through the onlookers. Gossip, blame, and condemnation painted the crowd's words, an unsettling reminder of humanity's tendency to turn on its own in times of crisis. Xiao Su's fists clenched, anger surging through his veins as he bore witness to this twisted display of morality. Within the confines of the classroom, Xiao Su's resolve took root. In the following days, he stepped into the role of an educator, fueled by a desire to equip the younger generation with the tools they needed to navigate a world fraught with challenges. He expressed his intent to teach students how to defend themselves against others. However, the teacher's response bore an alternative perspective. I teach them about nature, the teacher explained, his voice carrying a hint of resignation. He deliberately avoided instilling a sense of enmity among the students, choosing instead to cultivate a reverence for nature. As Xiao Su glanced into the classroom, he was met with an unexpected sight. A cluster of children surrounded Luan, their expressions a mix of curiosity and expectation. A pang of concern shot through Xiao Su. Had Luan's abilities been exposed? Yet it became evident that their demand was altogether different. They implored Luan to convince his older brother to stop prolonging the classes. Xiao Su's heart softened as he realized the concern stemmed from their well-being. Luan's response was candid and laced with a hint of resentment. If my older brother listened to me, he declared, we wouldn't have been stuck with these dragged-out classes. The students' words took a different turn as they turned mocking, speculating that Xiao Su intended to seize control of the school. Amidst the chaos, Luan's frustration ignited. He questioned the students, his words laced with intensity. What's wrong with teaching life-saving knowledge? He demanded, a touch of fiery conviction in his voice. His classmates' retorts seemed to further fuel his anger, but it was a curious remark from a kid that captured his attention. A child beside Luan reveals a dream where his father introduced a stepmother who treated him cruelly. Luan offered a perspective shift. assuring the child that dreams often flipped reality, before adding a playful remark, promising to find him a stepfather. The humor mirrored Xiao Su's mannerisms, a trait Luan had seemingly picked up from his older brother. Xiao Su's voice resonated through the classroom, signaling the beginning of the lesson. His gaze held a mix of determination and care as he posed a question to the students. "What's the most fragile part of the human body?" he asked. The classroom hushed in anticipation. As the students hesitated, he shared the answer: the neck. He elaborated on the vulnerability of the windpipe and the strategic significance of targeting it. As the lesson concluded, Xiao Su was met by Wang, who bore news of a significant development. A letter had arrived, informing Xiao Su that Boss Luo had permitted him to serve as the tour guide for the mercenary squad. It was an assignment that carried a sense of urgency, a mission that couldn't be ignored. The mountains beckoned, and Xiao Su's path lay clear before him. The anticipation of the squad's arrival lingered in the air like a charged atmosphere. Wang's voice trembled with a mixture of eagerness and anxiety as he urged Xiao Su to hasten his preparations. As he gathered his belongings and fortified his resolve, Xiao Su's mind swirled with questions. How had the squad managed to sway Boss Luo's opinion? Did their negotiations involve an exchange of resources? Or was there an intricate link between their mission and Boss Luo's greater designs for the mountains? Xiao Su's intuition told him that beneath the squad's veneer of purpose, there lay a deeper layer of motivations yet to be uncovered. Determined and resolute, Xiao Su sought the counsel of Mr. Zhang, the teacher he held in high regard. Their conversation unfolded as a testament to trust and vulnerability. Xiao Su confided in him, sharing the internal conflict that gnawed at him, the fear of rejection, and the potentially dire consequences it could usher. Mr. Zhang's guidance was wise and pragmatic, his solution offering shelter for Luan while Xiao Su was away. Gratitude filled Xiao Su's words as he thanked the teacher for his understanding and sage advice, his respect for the older man deepening. Upon returning home, Xiao Su's attention turned to the two most important individuals in his life, Yu Jie and Luan. He revealed his impending departure, his words laced with a sense of reassurance. He vowed to return swiftly, his voice a soothing balm against the uncertainty that lay ahead. To ensure their well-being during his absence, he handed Yu Jie money, a tangible gesture of practicality and concern. Even in his thoughts, he recognized the delicate balance between trust and caution in this unforgiving world. As he assumed the mantle of protector, Yu Jie's response resonated with loyalty and emotion. Her plea for his safe return carried an undercurrent of vulnerability that he couldn't help but be moved by. In a realm where trust was a scarce commodity, her unwavering loyalty felt like a precious gem. Just as he was on the verge of stepping out the door, a series of knocks disrupted his departure. A notification popped up. A mission. Reject joining the squad for their mountain expedition. The intervention of the palace added a layer of intrigue to the unfolding events. Why did they want to prevent his involvement with the squad? As the squad arrived, Xiao Su greeted them with an overplayed theatricality, portraying himself as a forgetful character. "Grandpa is the father's father, and Grandma is the father's mother," he muttered, attempting to present an image of cognitive disarray. Wang Kong's response shattered the facade, revealing their prior interactions. Xiao Su abandoned the act, his expression once again reflecting his usual clarity. Wang Kong's words held authority, and the mission was successfully executed. Xiao Su's rejection of the squad's offer was confirmed. The moment of accomplishment was brief, swiftly transitioning into a reversal of stance. "I want to go now," Xiao Su declared, setting the stage for negotiations. A demand of 30,000 emerged, a sum that caused a stir of disbelief. The ensuing back-and-forth negotiations saw the offer settling at 10,000, accepted by the squad. However, Xiao Su presented another condition, one that excluded Wang Kong. The unexpected twist left Wang Kong momentarily flabbergasted, his hold on power momentarily destabilized. As conversations flowed, introductions were exchanged, names that held the promise of camaraderie, yet were met with cautious reservation. Shuxia, Cheng Donghang, singer, Luo Xingyu, and Field Service Second Lieutenant Xu Xuanchu introduced themselves, each name carrying a hint of mystery and intrigue. Last but not least, a figure that bore an air of enigma, Yang Xiaojin. With terms negotiated and agreements made, the moment to depart drew near. Farewells were exchanged, a mixture of determination and apprehension coloring the scene. Xiao Su's eyes met his younger brother's and Yu Jie's, a silent promise etched in his gaze. As he embarked on a path rife with enigma and treacherous terrain, his thoughts swirled with anticipation, eager to unveil the secrets that awaited in the mountain's embrace. The journey had taken Xiao Su and the squad beyond the confines of their town. As they ventured further, his gaze fell upon the dirt road they now tread, a remnant from a time before disaster reshaped their world. He mused about the roads people once traversed, roads that had been left behind in the wake of catastrophe. The thought of what life was like before the calamity lingered in his mind, a curious contrast to their present reality. The pace of their journey left no room for rest or respite. The urgency of their mission compelled them forward, even as the growling emptiness in Xiao Su's stomach grew louder. A cluster of biscuits beckoned, and he gave in to their allure. Night descended, casting shadows over their path. With the cars halted for the night, the squad gathered to rest and replenish. The promise of sustenance lay in the food and water they unpacked. Yet their eyes were drawn to Xiao Su, who had managed to devour 5 packs of biscuits in his ravenous hunger. Their concern was palpable as they approached him, their words laced with a mix of amusement and worry. "You won't make it to Barrier 112 if you continue like this," they warned. But Xiao Su's plea was simple: to be left in peace with his biscuits. Despite his protests, his squad mates intervened, dragging him away from his food. Amidst the commotion, one of the squad members turned to Xing Yu, the squad leader, suggesting that they find a different guide for their mountain journey. But Xing Yu remained resolute. Xiao Su was their chosen guide, the best suited for the job. The squad's concern for Xiao Su's well-being lingered. Their whispers were tinged with uncertainty about his survival. Xiao Su, however, remained unyielding. He calmly addressed their doubts, attributing their worry to an undue focus on a few packs of biscuits. But the squad member's reminder was stern. Despite his abilities, Xiao Su was still a refugee in their eyes. In his signature style, Xiao Su injected a touch of levity into the tense atmosphere. He posed a riddle to one of the members. "What will break if an egg hits a rock?" The response came confidently: "The egg." But Xiao Su's answer bore a twist, one that left the squad member chuckling. "No," Xiao Su corrected with a grin. "The hen's heart will break." His humor lightened the mood, a brief moment of respite from their concerns. Suddenly, a member's scream pierced the night air. A set of footprints had been spotted, and tension crackled among the squad. Xiao Su's thoughts churned as he considered the situation logically. He pondered what kind of creature might leave such tracks along the forest's edge. The squad members expressed their confusion. These prints hadn't been present during their previous visit. With curiosity guiding him, Xiao Su inspected the footprints and recognized them as those of a deer. A sense of relief washed over them. There was no immediate threat. However, Xiao Su's keen observation didn't end there. He told a different story. A bear had been drawn by their leftovers from a previous visit. His words were met with skepticism, the squad dismissing the notion. But Xiao Su's insight held firm. He suggested that it might even be a boar. In a mixture of concern and disbelief, the squad urged him to stay put, but curiosity tugged at him, beckoning him into the forest's depths. As he ventured forward, the members' warnings echoed in his ears, a reminder of the dangers that lurked beyond their understanding. Liu Bu's vivid descriptions cast a shadow over Xiao Su's thoughts, leaving an indelible imprint of the previous guide's gruesome fate. In his mind's eye, he could almost envision the guide's final moments, a face devoured by an unseen aquatic horror, life extinguished in a matter of heartbeats. The weight of such a macabre image lingered as he moved cautiously through the wilderness, his senses acutely attuned to his surroundings. Guided by a blend of instinct and intuition, Xiao Su's thoughts were drawn to the interconnectedness of nature. He knew that larger animals gravitated towards water sources. This knowledge propelled him forward, tracing the mammoth deer's footprints toward the river's edge. In the depths of his mind, he replayed his analysis of the terrain, mapping out potential dangers with the precision of a strategist. Upon reaching the river's bank, his keen eyes studied the water's surface, as if hoping to uncover the secrets it held. Its tranquility seemed at odds with the foreboding tales he'd heard. Yet, beneath the veneer of serenity, Xiao Su sensed a latent menace, like an undercurrent of malevolence lurking just below the surface. His gaze shifted to a nearby termite hole, and an idea sparked. Xiao Su seized the opportunity, extracting ants with a delicate touch. These resourceful insects became his makeshift allies, a means to an end. Examining his improvised bait, he recognized their potential as high-quality fish lures. With nimble fingers, he prepared for his next move. A skilled throw sent his spear hurtling through the air. The satisfying splash marked the fish's demise. As he reeled in his prize, a sense of accomplishment washed over him. Here, in the heart of danger, he'd successfully secured sustenance. The fish, a symbol of his resourcefulness and survival instincts, now lay in his grasp. But triumph soon gave way to unease. Upon closer inspection, a gnawing suspicion took hold. Something about the fish seemed off, a hidden danger lurking within. Xiao Su reacted swiftly, snatching the fish and fleeing from the river's edge, propelled by an instinctive aversion to the tang of blood that clung to the creature. The scent, he realized, was a siren's call, a sinister allure that beckoned an unknown terror from the shadows. Back at the camp, the squad members were captivated by an intoxicating aroma, a scent that spoke of nourishment and comfort. Whispers of curiosity flitted through the air, leaving them intrigued and hungry. Unbeknownst to them, Xiao Su was savoring his catch, turning the fish into a succulent meal over the open flames. As the fire crackled and the aroma permeated the air, fate seemed poised to unite the squad through the simple act of sharing food. A notification materialized. A mission. "Share your food," it urged. Xiao Su's gaze shifted to the fish, its flaky flesh promising a reward of 1.0 agility. The exchange was simple, his agility for nourishment, The atmosphere brimmed with potential camaraderie, as Xiao Su offered his bounty in exchange for 3 water bottles. A silent agreement was forged, camaraderie seemingly within reach. Yet, in a sudden twist, 2 figures materialized from the shadows, the girls of the squad. Armed and unyielding, their demands cut through the tension like a blade. The barrel of a gun gleamed ominously, a stark reminder that even amidst moments of potential unity, the harsh reality of their world was never far away. Amidst the quiet of the morning, while the camp lay enveloped in slumber, Xiao Su ventured into the embrace of the forest. His footsteps were hushed, a solitary presence amid nature's tranquility. His eyes caught on a peculiar sight. The spot where he tossed the fish's remains the previous night lay empty. A mystery lingered in the air. Had some creature absconded with the remnants of his catch? His mind toyed with possibilities. Could it have been the ants? But even these tenacious insects, with their finger-sized forms, couldn't have hauled away an entire giant fish. The puzzle nagged at him, a curious enigma yet to be unraveled. Back at the camp, the squad members began to stir, a new day awakening their collective purpose. The mountain-bound expedition loomed ahead, and Xiao Su was given a special directive to sit in the lead car and guide the way. His unique knowledge of the terrain made him an indispensable asset to the squad's journey. Before they embarked, he found a moment to issue a warning, a plea for others to avoid the river for now. An agitated voice countered, questioning the need to heed such a caution when the river was populated by nothing more than fish. Undeterred, Xiao Su cast his gaze ahead, his concerns far-reaching. As the convoy of vehicles moved forward, an unexpected encounter came to pass. A massive deer crossed their path. The squad members' instincts kicked in, prompting them to ready their weapons. But their lieutenant intervened, his words a caution to avoid riling the majestic creature. And then, in a flash, chaos erupted. The deer charged, colliding with one of the cars head-on. The impact was staggering, lifting the car into the air before it crashed back down to the earth. In the aftermath, gunfire erupted, a futile attempt to bring down the enraged animal as it fled into the forest, a survivor of their barrage. Xiao Su's attention shifted to young Xiao Jin, her firearm conspicuously silent. A silent query took root in his mind. Why hadn't she fired? It was a question left unanswered amidst the chaos. One of the squad members redirected Xiao Su's focus, urging him to tend to the injured from the car's collision. His status as the town's doctor marked him as the best candidate for the task at hand. As he inspected the injured, a sly plan formed in his mind. Recognizing that the wounds were mere scratches, he proceeded to weave a web of deceit, his actions masquerading as genuine medical aid. The squad members watched in bewilderment, their bafflement voiced as they questioned his actions. He offered a whimsical explanation, deeming himself a witch doctor. The lieutenant's confusion only deepened as he puzzled over Xiao Su's antics. Meanwhile, a decision was made to deploy a secondary vehicle to transport some of the squad members. As Xu Xia and Liu Hong climbed aboard, a fateful twist occurred. Amid the shuffle, a member stumbled and fell, his abrupt demise casting a pall over the squad's already tense atmosphere. A moment of harrowing realization left them grappling with the capricious nature of fate in their perilous world. The squad members stood frozen in a tableau of uncertainty, their faces illuminated by the flickering glow of the campfire. The abrupt death of Xu Xia had ignited an inferno of questions, and the embers of fear smoldered in their eyes. A restless wind rustled the leaves, adding an eerie undertone to the growing tension. With trembling voices, they voiced their collective concern, demanding an explanation for the inexplicable demise that had unfolded before them. The very air seemed to hold its breath, waiting for an answer that eluded them all. Amidst the wavering courage, a timid voice dared to question the lieutenant's judgment. Could it be, they asked, that their surroundings harbored malevolent forces beyond their comprehension? The forest, cloaked in darkness, seemed to shroud secrets that defied explanation. The timbre of fear in that voice was echoed by the fluttering heartbeats of the others. One member, his voice trembling, dared to propose the unthinkable. Should they turn back? An undertone of desperation carried the plea, the seeds of doubt taking root as their situation grew more harrowing by the moment. Yet before their words could take root, the resolute lieutenant intervened, squelching the notion of retreat with unwavering determination. The lieutenant's command found its way to his ears, a directive to carry Xu Xia's lifeless body onto the truck, to stand as a somber reminder of the risks that surrounded them. As he approached the fallen comrade, his eyes focused on the small yet deadly needle protruding from the man's neck. His mind raced, recognizing it as the toxin of a bee, swift, lethal, and nearly impossible to counteract. A chilling realization washed over him. This was a world where even the smallest creature could be a harbinger of doom. Amidst the grim task, Xiao Su's thoughts lingered on the sudden escalation of threats in this world. The air grew thick with tension as he contemplated the dangers that lurked in the shadows. He questioned his motivation. Why had he agreed to this perilous journey? A wry smile tugged at his lips as he mused about his decision to consume all the stored biscuits in the truck. The squad members watched him with a mix of bemusement and uncertainty, pondering the depths of his eccentricity. As the journey progressed, the squad encountered a strange anomaly, a sudden surge in temperature that defied the approaching winter. They were edging closer to the mountains, the land marked by the rumbling hearts of active volcanoes. The very earth seemed to quiver with the raw power that lay dormant beneath its surface. The reminder of nature's fury loomed large, a reminder that even amidst the wildlands, some forces were beyond human control. The squad's second day in the wildlands unveiled a cryptic message etched into a stone: mortals, no entry. The lieutenant's questioning gaze turned to Xiao Su, seeking insight into this enigma. His response was candid. He did not know its origins, for such words hadn't adorned the rock during his previous venture. The curious gaze of Liu turned upon him, prompting a light-hearted revelation: the whimsical proclamation that he was a descendant of dragons. Yet the levity was short-lived, as the lieutenant's demeanor grew tense, suspicion lurking in her eyes. A gun leveled at Xiao Su, accusations lingered in the air like a storm cloud, waiting to unleash their fury. He was pressed to explain his actions, his presence in this perilous place deemed suspect. With conviction, he denied any involvement in the carving, offering a logical rebuttal. How could he have reached such heights to etch the message without a stepping stone? The squad members' eyes flitted between him and their commanding officer, uncertainty palpable in the air. Amidst the tense exchange, a daring voice shattered the uneasy equilibrium. The possibility of supernatural abilities being involved was raised, a suggestion met with vehement dismissal by the lieutenant. The sanctity of military secrets was invoked, casting a shadow over the conversation. However, defiance reared its head as a squad member challenged the lieutenant's authority, voicing doubts about their prospects, even if they succeeded in their mission. The audacity of this insubordination reverberated in the air, leaving everyone in stunned silence. Suddenly, the silence was pierced by a jarring sound, a cacophony of gunfire as panic and chaos ensued. Their target was nothing more than a rat, a hungry intruder seeking to partake in their provisions. Their relief was fleeting, however, as they discovered that Shushia's body had vanished without a trace, as if consumed by the very shadows that lurked at the periphery of their reality. Amid the bewilderment that shrouded the squad members like a heavy mist, Xiao Su found himself grappling with the inexplicable disappearance of Shushia's body. How could an adult man vanish without leaving a trace? It was a riddle that had no ready answer, adding yet another layer of enigma to the already perplexing journey. Leo's plea for the lieutenant to consider retreating echoed the sentiment shared among them. The wildlands, for all their secrets, seemed poised to consume them whole. As the members congregated, huddled in a circle of uncertainty, the weight of the carved words, "Mortals, no entry," pressed upon them. The canyon loomed as a harbinger of danger that transcended the capabilities even of those blessed with supernatural powers. Whispers of hidden dangers, both within the canyon and within the forest, flitted among them like restless spirits. The bizarre demise of Shushia, coupled with the inexplicable disappearance of his body, cast a long shadow over their plans. In their deliberations, one pressing question remained: would the forest, no matter how treacherous, ensure their survival? A tentative answer was proffered, but it was the canyon that held an unknown peril that elicited a collective shudder. The lieutenant, ever vigilant, turned to their commanding officer, her eyes conveying her concerns about the ramifications of their return. The promise of a solution, to transfer out of the private army, was met with a note of skepticism. The lieutenant's worries remained, her gaze fixated on the looming darkness of the canyon. As evening descended, the decision was reached: camp for the night and retreat to safety at dawn. The collective sigh of relief seemed almost palpable, a brief respite from the mysteries that had gripped them. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. Xiao Su's sharp cry cut through the stillness, his gaze alighting upon a pack of wolves. Urgency and survival instincts surged within him, driving him to yell a command that shattered the tranquil airhead for the canyon. The squad moved in unison, racing toward the refuge of the canyon's depths. Fear fueled their legs, their hearts pounding in a rhythm of survival. Xiao Su's mind whirred, his thoughts consumed by the unforgiving wilderness and the desperate bid to evade its predators. And then, an unexpected diversion. Xiao Su brandished the rat from earlier, a repurposed decoy to distract the hungry wolves. His resourcefulness provided the precious seconds they needed to regroup and seek shelter. With Xiao Jin's assistance, Xiao Su hurled himself into a vehicle, his breath ragged from exertion. Amidst the chaos, he marveled at the vehicular escape, a testament to the wondrous capabilities of technology, even during a world turned chaotic. The roar of the engine and the desperate scramble for sanctuary carried them toward the canyon's maw. But as the pack of wolves ceased their pursuit upon entering the canyon, Xiao Su could scarcely believe their luck. The creatures that had threatened their very existence were repelled by an unseen barrier. As they ventured deeper into the canyon, Xiao Su's thoughts turned toward their dwindling supplies. The memory of the rat, the unassuming intruder that had incited panic, haunted his mind. Could it be that in this harsh landscape, even the smallest of creatures held the power to dictate their survival? His contemplations were shattered by a sudden surge, a wave of insects. a cascade of life, created a natural mountain of sustenance before him. An unexpected mission notification pierced his thoughts, urging him to save 10 lives from the canyon's clutches. As the mission's weight settled upon him, Xiaosu's gaze shifted from the swarm to the task that lay ahead. The canyon's mysteries and dangers remained, but amidst its ominous shadows, a glimmer of purpose emerged. With determination burning in his eyes, he stepped forth to confront the challenges that awaited him in the heart of the abyss, where survival was the only rule, and each choice held the potential to shape their destiny. As chaos reigned and panic unfurled like wildfire, Xiaosu and Xiaojin sought refuge within the confines of a car, its engine roaring to life. The rubber tires skidded and gripped the earth as they sped away, desperate to outrun the swarm of spiders that pursued them relentlessly. During the heart-pounding escape, Xiaojin couldn't help but marvel at Xiaosu's physical prowess, his strength, seemingly boundless, as he deftly maneuvered the car and steered them away from danger. Amid the cacophony of chaos, a voice of gratitude pierced through. The driver, saved from the clutches of the spiders, extended his heartfelt thanks to Xiaosu. Each expression of gratitude seemed to beget another, as tokens of appreciation piled up like unspoken debts. Despite saving only one life, Xiaosu's actions had rippled through their group, eliciting a cascade of gratitude. The tokens of appreciation were mere symbols, yet they held within them the power to reshape their fates. The mission's demand to save 10 lives was met, a testament to the fragile nature of survival in this unforgiving wilderness. A reward of 1.0 strength solidified Xiaosu's accomplishment, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit amidst a realm that tested its limits. The truth was harsh. Success in the mission was not hinged on the number of lives saved, but rather the cruel reality that survival was a numbers game, where existence was measured in the digits that remained. As the car carried them away from immediate danger, the reality of the situation came into stark focus. Surrounding them were corpses, evidence of lives cut short by the merciless onslaught of man-faced insects. The macabre tableau spoke of a brutal struggle for survival, where the line between predator and prey was blurred, and humanity itself became a commodity in the dance of death. Xiaosu pondered aloud, his thoughts an echo of the chilling truth that he dared to voice. Were the faces at the back of those insects a grim testament to their diet? A haunting reminder that even the most primal instincts could be perverted by desperation? Their escape led them to a marginally safer haven, a respite from the immediate peril that had pursued them. And yet, a somber realization dawned upon them. Their group had dwindled to a mere 11 survivors. The scale of the casualties weighed heavily on their hearts, a silent reminder that life was precarious and death a constant specter. As they looked around at one another, eyes filled with uncertainty, the question that lingered remained unanswered. What awaited them beyond the horizon? What trials? What tribulations? What horrors still lay in wait? The journey ahead was an enigma, its riddles unfathomable, and its answers obscured by the haze of uncertainty. In a world marred by catastrophe, where survival was both the battle and the prize, the future held no promises, only possibilities yet to be unveiled. As the journey through the treacherous terrain of the Jin Mountains continued, the squad's dynamic shifted, revealing glimpses of their true motivations. Liu, fueled by curiosity and suspicion, mustered the courage to challenge the lieutenant, seeking the revelation of their clandestine goals. The lieutenant's response was curt, an assertion that as strangers united by circumstance, divulging such secrets was unwarranted. Xiaosu silently contemplated this exchange, recognizing the complex dance between the private army and the newcomers. The absence of transparency was no anomaly. It was the very fabric of their existence in this tumultuous world. Intrigued by the characters within this entwined narrative, Xiaosu couldn't help but notice the remarkable presence of Luo Xingyu. With a single sentence, she had managed to ignite a skirmish within the private army, showcasing her ability to manipulate emotions and intentions through mere words. It was a reminder that power in this world was not always brute force. Sometimes, it was the manipulation of perceptions and allegiances that held sway. Xiaojin, ever the enigmatic presence, expressed her hunger with a thinly veiled threat, a knife ready to spring forth if her demands weren't met. Amused, Xiaosu played along, inquiring about her culinary preferences in jest. To his surprise, she revealed the resourcefulness of a true survivor. She had saved the rat he had used to evade the man-faced insects. In a landscape where sustenance was scarce, Xiaojin's actions were both pragmatic and impressive. Preparing a meal from the rat, Xiaosu's culinary skills came into play. He shared the food with Xiaojin, all the while casting a wry glance at the other members who refused the meal. Their reluctance, he deduced, stemmed from their unfamiliarity with consuming such unconventional sustenance. Humorously, Xiaosu spun a tale about the habits of the elite, recounting a fictional preference for consuming bird nests made of swallow spits. His words danced on the fine line between jest and fact, provoking laughter and lightening the atmosphere, if only briefly. Xiaosu's propensity for offbeat humor remained a consistent thread, his backward jokes woven seamlessly into their journey. Yet amidst the banter and camaraderie, Xiao Su's analytical mind never rested. He pondered Yang Xiaojin, her skills, her enigma. The palace's reluctance to divulge her abilities only deepened the mystery. Acting on his curiosity, he consulted the palace's database, seeking insights into her martial prowess. Comparing his average skill to her expert level, he couldn't help but be impressed by her abilities. Utilizing the skill book granted by the palace, he sought to learn a skill from her repertoire. The outcome was astonishing. A newfound ability called Expert Level Super Jump. The prospect of leaping with superhuman grace and height left Xiao Su both amazed and contemplative, his mind already weaving scenarios of its potential applications. Amidst these musings, reality beckoned. Their makeshift meal, cooked with patience, was savored as the wilderness persisted outside. A mission notification disrupted the moment, demanding Xiao Su's assistance in finding food for the other members. Pointing at a member as the culprit, the mission was abruptly fulfilled. However, the member was far from cooperative, escalating tensions with the threat of his firearm. The air grew tense, the atmosphere on a precipice, each action a trigger, each gesture a potential catalyst for the ever-shifting dynamics of survival in this unforgiving world. The tense night air hung heavily around the squad, casting long shadows amidst the dimly lit wilderness. The lieutenant's stern command cut through the unease, urging the man who had refused to share his food to do so for the time being. As the darkness deepened, the members clung to the flickering light of their fire, the only beacon of warmth and security in the unknown. An explosion shattered the fragile equilibrium, sending shockwaves through the group. The man, driven by desperation and fear, lunged at the lieutenant with a blade glinting malevolently in the firelight. Just as the blade was poised to strike, a figure materialized with astonishing speed, a superhuman intervention. Xu Xian, the previously unassuming lieutenant, exhibited supernatural abilities, thwarting the attack with deft agility. It was a moment of revelation that silenced the chaos and unveiled the hidden strengths lurking within their midst. As tensions ebbed, the injured assailant lay on the ground, his ambitions quashed. Xu Xian, though wounded, remained composed, concealing his supernatural talents once more. Xiao Su, his physician's instincts kicking in, was asked to treat the injured man. In an attempt to lighten the mood, he playfully counted backward from 10, an unconventional tactic to both disorient and comfort the injured. Xu Xian confirmed that the man's vital organs were spared, and his recovery was imminent, alleviating the immediate threat. Xiao Su made it clear that his role was that of a guide, not a healer, and the price of medicine was steep. The injured man, Wang Lei, understanding the reality of their situation, offered payment, a gesture that earned him a point of appreciation, a step closer to unlocking weapons through goodwill. As the lieutenant deftly sutured Wang Lei's wound, the firelight danced on their faces, casting an eerie glow. The conversation took an unexpected turn, revealing the tantalizing mysteries woven into the very fabric of the mountains. Before the catastrophe, a civilization thrived here, and the higher-ups within the barrier had dispatched their squad to map out the ruins for future exploration. However, the discovery of a potent and enigmatic energy within the mountains, capable of evolving beasts, shifted their priorities. The lieutenant's revelations painted a complex picture of power, temptation, and the desire to harness these newfound forces. Acknowledging the gravity of their situation, the lieutenant voiced their decision to retreat to the safety of the barrier. The danger was too profound, the risks too great to justify continuing their mission. Yet, this declaration was met with an unsettling truth. Their return had been irrevocably severed. Due to the lieutenant's supernatural exposure, their path was altered, forever diverging from the security they once knew. With resolve in his voice, the lieutenant articulated a new path forward. The unknown had been laid bare, dangers illuminated, and choices laid bare. Their journey brought them to the precipice of decision. The lieutenant's words lingered in the night air, a call to embrace uncertainty or seek solace in familiarity, each individual a harbinger of their destiny. As the first rays of dawn painted the forest in hues of gold and amber, a fragile alliance held firm amidst the towering trees. The gravity of their situation was palpable, and Xiao Jin's voiced apprehensions resonated deeply within each heart. With collective determination, they embraced the lieutenant's leadership, acknowledging that retreating from the enigma-laden heart of the Jin Mountains was the only sensible path. The lieutenant's decree carried a weight of authority that transcended mere words, signaling that defiance would bear grave consequences. Together, they decided that their path forward would be guided by his counsel. The intricacies of the forest made vehicle travel futile, necessitating their advancement on foot. Tasked with carrying the injured Wang Lei, Xiao Su embarked on a journey that would soon see him become the recipient of countless tokens of gratitude. Every word of thanks became a stepping stone towards unearthing latent abilities. As the sun's glow grew more assertive, the lieutenant couldn't help but ponder the transformation brewing within Xiao Su. Known for his detachment and aloofness, the emergence of such profound kindness was a juxtaposition that intrigued him. The forest trek continued, the atmosphere heavy with the unknown. Wang Lei's comfort became Xiao Su's priority, Each offered remedy or aid, translating into another nod of appreciation, a currency that accrued with every gesture of goodwill. The natural world itself seemed to react to their passage. Trees, once of moderate stature, now stretched skywards in an unexplainable display of growth. The squad couldn't help but cast curious glances at this odd phenomenon, which stirred their curiosity and further heightened the sense of mystique. Amidst this, a simmering confrontation emerged. One of the men dared to test the boundaries of the lieutenant's leadership, but his endeavor was swiftly quashed by Xiao Jin's deft handling. A single movement of her gun conveyed a message of unwavering resolve. Taking possession of the man's firearm, Xiao Su implied his dedication to order, even in the face of chaos. When the squad beckoned Xiao Su to assist them in foraging for food, he replied with sardonic wit. He jestingly questioned whether he could conjure a wild boar charging into a tree with just words. To everyone's shock, a resounding crash punctuated his words. A wild boar had indeed collided with a tree, its fate sealed in a daze of unconsciousness. A moment of stunned silence was followed by bemused laughter, as the bizarre occurrence hung in the air like a riddle waiting to be deciphered. A knowing smile graced Xiao Su's lips, recognizing the invisible threads that tethered him to his younger brother, Luan. The boundaries between reality and something altogether more extraordinary seemed to blur in this realm of strangeness. The once frightening journey had now transformed into a tapestry woven with enigmatic connections, beckoning them towards the core of self-discovery and the boundless mysteries nested within the heart of the Jin Mountains. As the lieutenant skillfully prepared the boar, Xiao Su shared an essential piece of wilderness wisdom, ensuring that food scraps and blood were not left behind to beckon predators in the night. His voice held a pragmatic earnestness, backed by the knowledge that survival was a delicate balance in this untamed realm. Ants, mere insects, were formidable adversaries in the dark, and their relentless hunger for sustenance could render even a sleeping human vulnerable. Xiao Su's words were heard, and the lieutenant's gratitude flowed in the form of another appreciation token. Amid this rugged wilderness, an unlikely camaraderie was being forged. The recognition of kindness in Xu was heartwarming for Xiao Su. In a world where motives often remained veiled, the lieutenant's earnestness struck a chord, renewing Xiao Su's faith in the vestiges of decency that still existed amidst the chaos. His exchanges with Xu carried an unspoken camaraderie, one born from a shared commitment to survival and an understanding of the inherent challenges they all faced. Amidst the challenges of the journey, human dynamics continued to evolve. A woman from the squad approached Xiao Su with an admission of feelings, an attempt, he suspected, to secure protection or companionship in this unpredictable landscape. With a discerning eye, he declined, recognizing the motives that often lay beneath such confessions. He had encountered similar encounters before, where connection was sought for ulterior motives rather than genuine emotions. Liu's revelation about the dwindling supplies shifted their focus to the most essential element of all, water. Amidst this arid landscape, the quest for hydration was paramount. Xiao Su's expertise in survival shone through as he imparted knowledge on sourcing water in the wild, be it from rivers or collected dew from leaves. The lush pine trees nearby offered another source, a fortunate stroke of luck that could mean the difference between life and death. With the completion of this crucial information sharing, his strength seemed to deepen, marked by the reward granted by the invisible arbiter. The bond between Xiao Su and Xiao Jin deepened as their skills intertwined. As he observed her skill set, he pondered the incongruities that defined her capabilities, ranging from crafting explosives to assassination and even singing. Her skill set was a mosaic of intricacies that painted a multifaceted picture of her persona, revealing layers he couldn't quite decipher. Amidst these reflections, the relentless advance of an acid rainstorm propelled the group into action. Seeking shelter, they stumbled upon a cave, a refuge in the tumult of nature. But etched onto the cave walls were cryptic words, unsettling and mysterious. We saw the strange shadows in the forest. They are missing. They all went missing. These enigmatic markings raised more questions than answers, casting a shroud of unease over their newfound haven. Within the embrace of this cave, a veil of uncertainty hung heavily, fueling their determination to unravel the secrets that lay hidden within the heart of the Jin Mountains. As the squad members stood before the cryptic message carved into the cave's walls, speculation swirled. The lieutenant's musings suggested that perhaps those from Barrier 112 had taken refuge here, leaving behind a haunting proclamation of their fate. Yet the absence of distress signals from satellite phones cast shadows of doubt on that theory. Xiao Su's curiosity stirred, and he found himself seeking an understanding of these enigmatic devices, satellite phones that connected their isolated worlds. Xiao Jin, as a well of knowledge, explained, unraveling the mystery. Before the calamity, control over select satellites allowed the barriers to maintain communication, tethering their existence across the desolate expanses. This revelation illuminated the intricate web of technology that persisted amidst their grim reality. An unsettling implication arose. The absence of equipment from their higher-ups suggested a sinister motive, one that fueled suspicions of expendable exploration. Tension simmered within the group, frayed by the uncharted terrain and the unknown forces that seemingly pulled them into this dangerous mission. The lieutenant quelled the speculative unrest, urging caution and reason to prevail. Nightfall encroached upon them, and the lieutenant orchestrated a watchful rotation, except for the women, whose strength had not gone unnoticed. Xiao Su assigned the initial watch and patrolled the surroundings with vigilance. The forest's hushed symphony wrapped around him, accompanied by the rustling leaves and distant echoes that underscored the vastness of their isolation. Luo Xingyu, ever a mystery with her cryptic motives, accompanied Xiao Jin as they embarked on a nighttime conversation. Xiao Su pondered the dynamic between the two women, loyalties and debts that ran deeper than mere surface interactions. Lingering questions about Xiao Jin's intentions remained, especially the monetary exchange between her and Luo Xingyu. Was it a transaction as simple as it seemed, or did it allude to something more? The natural world carried its lessons, as evidenced by Liu's startlement when water traced the contours of his coat. Xiao Su stepped in with his encyclopedic knowledge of the wilderness, sharing that the water seeping from the rocks was filtered by nature's mechanisms, rendering it a purer source than any well. A lesson in survival, an understanding of the terrain that they navigated, and a reminder that even in this chaos, there were patterns of order and stability. As the night deepened, the mantle of guarding duty passed to the lieutenant. The squad nestled into a restless slumber, shadows dancing on the periphery of their dreams. Yet, within the blanket of darkness, a sinister plot took root. The guards assigned to protect succumbed to treacherous motivations. The stillness of the night was shattered by the revelation that these very guardians had conspired to assassinate Xiao Su and Xiao Jin. The nocturnal veil now draped over the campsite hid not just dangers from the wild, but a threat that emanated from within their ranks. In the cloak of night, as the moon cast its silvery glow upon the campsite, treachery unfurled like a hidden serpent. Intent on silence and darkness, the assailants crept forward, believing their targets, Xiao Jin and Xiao Su, to be soundly asleep. To their astonishment, their quarry was already awake, the glint of wakefulness shining in their eyes. Quick and nimble, Xiao Su and Xiao Jin deftly avoided the assassination attempts, thwarting their attackers before they could strike. The sudden commotion reverberated through the camp, rousing the others from their slumber. As chaos ignited like wildfire, the lieutenant's thoughts mirrored the tumult. Why couldn't they find respite even in the solitude of the night? An undertone of frustration laced his musings, the persistent unrest threatening to consume the fragile unity of the group. Amid the confusion, questions raced through Xiao Su's mind, a whirlwind of uncertainty. What motivated these attackers? Was it the allure of water, the desire for weaponry, or perhaps the enigmatic allure of Luo Xingyu herself? The precise motives eluded him, yet he realized that deciphering their intent was irrelevant at this point. The immediate threat had been quelled, and a newfound determination simmered within him. In the aftermath of the scuffle, a new mission materialized before Xiao Su, a task that resonated with his recent experience. Dispatching his assailants granted him mastery over a skill tree, a testament to his growth in the realm of the superhuman. The mastery bore the promise of new abilities, chief among them, the ability to harness a supernatural skill, the lieutenant's shadow. With a resounding yes that echoed in his thoughts, Xiao Su embraced this opportunity, choosing to embrace this enigmatic gift that unveiled itself through the darkness. The form of his shadow had been enhanced, distinct and potent in its composition. He observed its essence, a deeper hue, a denser quality. The potential of this ability stretched before him, yet he couldn't help but wonder if his penchant for shamelessness lent his shadow its robustness. As experimentation unfolded, Xiao Su ventured to discover the extent of this newfound power. Its strength and agility surpassed his own, doubling his physical capabilities. An aspect of his shadow that fascinated him was its resilience. It wouldn't dissipate like a mere illusion. It existed as long as his consciousness held steady, a testament to the formidable partnership between mind and manifestation. Yet, as the night's mysteries continued to unfold, Xiao Su faced another enigma, his mentality. With his shadow's potential relying on this elusive aspect, he sought answers from his trusty companion, Palace. But much to his chagrin, he found himself denied access to this knowledge. Frustration simmered, leaving him to wrestle with the intricacies of his mind, a puzzle with pieces he couldn't yet assemble. The morning sun painted the sky with hues of warmth, casting a veil of gold over the encampment. With the night's turmoil behind them, the squad began to stir, reuniting with consciousness. Luo Xingyu's question pierced the veil of the dawn. "Were you pretending to sleep?" Xiao Su's reply carried a tinge of nonchalance. "Maybe." Yet in truth, the rhythm of town life had etched within him a vigilant disposition. Sleep was never a realm of true surrender, always a state of poised alertness. As the day's light unfurled, it unveiled another secret. Xiao Jin, too, had feigned slumber. Two sentinels of the night, watchful even in their repose, yet concealing their wakefulness from prying eyes. Xiao Su's thoughts drifted to the curious enigma. Why did the bodies of their fallen assailants linger, while the one from the truck days prior vanished without a trace? Unsettling questions swirled like mist, veiling the truth from their grasp. The lieutenant's voice punctuated the air. A call to arms amidst uncertainty. Despite the impending uncertainty that lay in the unknown expanse ahead, the squad was compelled to move. The unsettling grip of inertia compelled them forward. The promise of safety grew fainter with each passing hour. A grim reminder echoed. The two souls who ventured into the night had likely succumbed to the dangers that lurked beyond the safety of the camp's confines. With resolve set like iron, the lieutenant addressed his team. It was clear that solitude held perils in this transformed world. The perilous reality was that acting alone often spelled doom, an understanding that had been etched into their collective consciousness through hard-earned experience. Wang Lei's plea for assistance arose, his wounded form seeking respite from his pain. Yet the veil of deception was lifted. Xiao Su unraveled the bandage to reveal a miraculously healed wound. Gratitude flowed from Wang Lei's lips, granting him another token of appreciation in Xiao Su's eyes. As the group gathered its remnants, another opportunity beckoned, a chance for Xiao Su to tap into the power of his accumulated resources. Through Palace's guidance, the path to a beginner's inventory was laid bare. Hopeful anticipation mingled with skepticism as the door swung open, only to reveal nothing. Xiao Su's exclamation of "Scam!" echoed amidst a bout of exasperation, though he soon accepted that this beginner's inventory was but a stepping stone, a glimpse of what lay ahead as he aspired toward greater heights. Their journey resumed, and the lilt of uncertainty danced upon the wind. Xiao Su's curiosity couldn't be quelled. What manner of beast resided within these formidable mountains? His query was met with the lieutenant's contemplation, and a volley of potential explanations ensued. The truth of beast evolution, or the inception of a new food chain. The possibilities were as vast as the horizon. The ruins that punctuated these peaks added yet another layer of intrigue. As the lieutenant's words whispered the term Mystery City, the allure of undiscovered secrets beckoned, ready to unfurl their enigma within the ancient stones that stood as sentinels of time. The mountains echoed with mysteries, each corner and crevice veiling secrets of a bygone era. A city, a word that stirred Xiao Su's curiosity, rousing the memory of the lieutenant's earlier mention of civilization's remnants from the past. It was a testament to a time before the calamity, a time when humanity's essence wasn't tainted by the strange transformation that swept the world. Xiao Su confronted the lieutenant's words, piecing together the narrative that had been woven. This city held within its dilapidated walls secrets that could empower the superhumans of today. The intrigue lingered, a question poised on Xiao Su's lips. "What's the secret?" he inquired, the thirst for knowledge evident in his voice. The lieutenant's reply wavered in uncertainty, a reflection of the enigma that enveloped this forsaken city. The lieutenant shared what he knew. The presence of superhumans emerged long ago, yet their numbers had begun to swell in recent times. An ominous organization, dubbed the Thugs, had arisen, an embodiment of rebellion against the very barriers that sought to govern these extraordinary beings. A city once brimming with the echoes of human life now lay silent, a keeper of enigmas. The lieutenant's voice wafted into the air, carrying the weight of truth. "Did you capture him?" Xiao Su's voice carried hope, eager for the assurance of justice prevailing. Yet the lieutenant's reply was laced with a bitter reality. This elusive being was of unparalleled might, an adversary beyond imagination. The tale deepened. Every barrier harbored the fear of an uprising from superhumans, the evolution of their powers, igniting a precarious situation. The asylums erected by the higher-ups masked their darker intentions, systematic exploitation of superhuman abilities for their gain. The lieutenant's words uncovered the veiled motives of those in power. Yet a question simmered within Xiao Su's mind. Why did the lieutenant not return? Knowing the truth that lay within? The bond of loyalty compelled the squad to shield his identity, yet the lieutenant's convictions bound him to a path of defiance. The lieutenant's inquiry sliced through the air, unexpected and disarming. "Do you have supernatural abilities?" His words hung like a blade poised to reveal a hidden truth. Before unveiling the subtlety of his intent, a smile danced upon his lips as he continued, "Of angering people." Relief cascaded over Xiao Su, a wave of emotion crashing against the shore of uncertainty. With a hesitant yet hearty laugh, the tension dissolved. The revelation was unexpected, a newfound skill not of the supernatural realm, but rather a mastery of human psychology. Xiao Su turned to Palace, querying the validity of his talent. Ascertaining his prowess, Palace responded in the affirmative, an unexpected skill he had honed unknowingly. The journey continued, fraught with the unknown perils of the wilderness. Xiao Su's pragmatic caution guided their steps, warning the squad against stepping in puddles that might summon locusts. A clever tactic he learned through his encounters with these unforgiving lands. Progressing further into the depths of the wild, a peculiar sight awaited. A woman, clad in white, scratching her head against a tree. A shiver of unease rippled through the squad, and before their eyes, she charged. Vigilant, the members prepared for confrontation. With a gesture that defied the norm, the lieutenant sent his shadow to capture the ethereal assailant. A supernatural clash of wills played out before them. The battle reached its climax as the shadow successfully subdued the apparition. Questions danced upon their lips. Was this being an entity from the barrier, or an echo of the city's forsaken past? The answer remained elusive, nestled amidst the enigma that bound these mountains. Amid the wilderness, under the canopy of towering trees, Xiao Su's intuition drew him toward a particular tree. Could it be that something significant lay beneath it? A relic of the world before the calamity, perhaps? As his fingers brushed against the concealed item, anticipation hung in the air. The object revealed itself. A piece of plastic, incongruent amidst the rustic surroundings. Was it a map? A fragment of history awaiting discovery? However, as they examined the plastic, a disheartening truth surfaced. It bore the phrase, "Please scan QR code to pay." A map that demanded payment? Frustration tinged their curiosity as they contemplated the oddity before them. Yet, undeterred, they decided to carry this strange artifact with them. A tangible link to a past world interwoven with modern technology. Driven by the need for answers, they embarked on a journey to decipher its meaning. The hours unfolded, and dusk cast its ethereal hues across the landscape. Seeking refuge within the shelter of a cave, the squad grappled with their hunger. Pine cones, nature's provision, beckoned, and they indulged in their earthy sustenance. However, not all went as planned. Leo's attempt to acquire pine cones from the towering trees led to frustration, and his vocal lament reverberated through the cavern. Aggrieved by the challenges faced on their path back to the barrier, Leo's frustration found solace in the perceived villainy of wolves, labeling them as treacherous creatures. But Xiao Su, ever the wellspring of knowledge, interjected with a lesson that transcended simple judgment. He unraveled the tale of BI and wolves, unveiling a narrative of camaraderie amidst adversity. BEI was another term for wolves that had fallen victim to traps, their forelegs rendered immobile. In an unexpected show of unity, fellow wolves carried the afflicted beings, displaying an unyielding bond. "The wolves will never leave their behind," Xiao Su stated, contrasting this loyalty with human behavior, prompting contemplation among the squad. As night's embrace deepened, Xiao Su's perceptive gaze caught an evolution that transcended mere allegory. Even the pine cones, the very sustenance they relied upon, had grown larger, a testament to the fertile ecosystem nurtured by ample oxygen. The lieutenant chimed in, attributing this phenomenon to nature's resilience in oxygen-rich environments, drawing a parallel to oxygen inhalation's energizing effects on humans. The conversation wove deeper, exploring the surrounding landscape. Xiao Su inquired about other mountains near their barriers, to which the lieutenant responded that such territories had fallen under the dominion of Tindercorp. Puzzlement clouded Xiao Su's features. What was this Tindercorp he had never heard of before? The lieutenant's revelation clarified that it was an independent consortium, controlling over 20 barriers. Despite its distance from Barrier 113, the impact of its presence was undeniable. Curiosity beckoned, and Xiao Su sought further enlightenment, probing the nature of Tindercorp's holdings. However, the lieutenant could only shake his head, enshrouding the consortium in mystery. Xiao Jin chimed in, sharing the whispers of the unknown that danced within these controlled domains. Rumors spoke of ancient creatures taking flight across the sky, a glimpse of primordial majesty that added an extra layer of enigma to the already mysterious Tindercorp. In the hushed confines of the forest, the revelation of Tindercorp's dominion piqued the squad's collective intrigue. Xiao Jin added to the conversation, her voice laced with wisdom born of deeper insight. She spoke of the consortium's robust military prowess and its iron grip on the territories it controlled. However, only the inner circle of Tindercorp held a true understanding of its operations, leaving the rest shrouded in ambiguity. Xiao Su couldn't help but wonder if Xiao Jin possessed more knowledge than even the lieutenant. Could she be affiliated with a hidden organization? The thought flickered in his mind, a question he yearned to uncover. Amidst the discourse, the lieutenant brought forth a literary reference, invoking the tale of Journey to the West. In that epic, there was a character capable of lifting a rod that weighed an astounding 13,500 kilograms, a power that could level mountains. The lieutenant admitted skepticism during his initial reading, but current circumstances forced him to consider the possibility of such extraordinary feats being more than just fiction. As the conversation took its course, Liu's characteristic sense of humor resurfaced, suggesting that Xiao Su make another wish, half in jest. Little did they anticipate that Liu's words would unintentionally summon a horde of beasts. The squad found themselves on high alert as the forest seemed to come alive with the eerie sound of creatures approaching. Xiao Su chided Liu for tempting fate, explaining that the previous occurrence had been a chance happening, not a magical power. Amid the tension, Liu's attempt to communicate with the wild animals yielded an astonishing result. The creatures retreated upon his plea. Xiao Su's inquisitive mind raced ahead, contemplating whether Liu might possess an extraordinary ability akin to his younger brothers. Yet, an unsettling truth gnawed at him. The synchronized behavior of the animals suggested a common motivation, and the squad was left to ponder what dire force could prompt such unity. Suddenly, the ominous clanking of chains echoed through the air, sending shivers down their spines. A disconcerting sensation permeated the atmosphere as the sound seemingly evaporated into nothingness. Leo's urgency to flee resonated with the squad, but Xiao Su advised patience. As the animals neared, Xiao Su speculated that the creatures might have considered this region a haven of safety. His gaze landed on the skeletal remains the squad had previously noted when crossing the canyon. A troubling thought emerged. There had been a conspicuous absence of animal remains throughout the forest. In the natural course of events, life cycle included death, yet this forest appeared untouched by decay. To demonstrate his point, Xiao Su discarded the remnants of their meal in the forest, only to find it vanished by the next day. A telling sign of the forest's enigmatic nature, the squad grappled with this revelation, their surroundings now a labyrinth of unanswered questions. The lieutenant's voice cut through the uncertainty, directing them to move to a more open area with fewer trees. Xiao Su couldn't help but ponder the simplicity of this solution, skeptical that escape would be that straightforward. Amidst their contemplations, an eerie scarlet glow pierced the darkness, an intense pair of red eyes, sinister in their luminance, advancing towards them. The haunting sound of chains clanking returned, intertwining with the impending peril that loomed just beyond the edge of understanding. The atmosphere tensed as the squad aimed their weapons at the approaching enigma, poised to unleash a barrage of bullets if need be. The lieutenant's voice, firm and commanding, pierced through the silence, outlining their strategy. If the creature emerged, they were to open fire, with the lieutenant using his shadow to stall the menace. Yet the creature seemed to retreat, its sinister presence fading into the recesses of the forest. Questions hung in the air, unanswered and ominous. Sighs of relief swept through the squad. They had escaped immediate danger. The creature, whatever it was, chose not to confront them directly. Their fortune had been held, and they could feel their racing hearts begin to settle. It was a respite they welcomed, a moment to regroup and regain their bearings. Despite the lieutenant's offer to take the night watch, Xiao Su and Xiao Jin opted to keep vigil instead. The scars of their previous encounter were still etched in their memories. They couldn't allow themselves to rest too easily. Their shared determination, a silent pact to ensure the safety of the squad, shone in their resolute gazes. As morning's light brushed the horizon, an unexpected explosion reverberated through the air, igniting alarm within the squad. The thought of a volcanic eruption flitted through their minds, but the lieutenant's assessment revealed a different truth. The other squads entered the mountains, igniting a race for the secret that lay hidden within. Their urgency renewed, and the squad hastened their pace, their steps infused with a newfound determination. Xiao Su, his inquisitive nature burning bright, questioned the lieutenant's commitment to this perilous venture. The magnitude of the explosion served as a sobering reminder of the dangers they faced, but the lieutenant's words spoke of no turning back. The pursuit of the secret became an irreversible commitment, a path fraught with risk, yet imbued with the allure of discovery. Their journey through the mountain's tangled expanse revealed peculiar shifts in their surroundings. Extreme heat enveloped them, and the forest seemed to have morphed into a realm of amplified proportions. Bugs, once minuscule, now towered over them like giants. Luo Xing offered insight, her voice carrying the weight of knowledge gained from observing their evolving world. Humans became superhumans, harnessing extraordinary abilities, while insects metamorphosed into colossal counterparts. Xiao Su's contribution to the conversation delved into the intricate mechanisms of evolution. He shared a tidbit from his interactions with Mr. Zhang, revealing that the suppression of muscle growth in humans stemmed from a genetic trade-off, a choice for intelligence over physical strength. However, Xiao Jin's counterpoint regarding superhumans with evolved physiques unveiled a new layer of complexity. Theories swirled, speculating on connections between humans and animals in their distant past. Yet the enigma persisted, like an unsolvable puzzle lurking in the depths of their minds. Curiosity transitioned to inquiries about Mr. Zhang's knowledgeability. Xiao Su's candid response painted an eccentric picture of the man, a blend of wisdom and whimsy, a source of wisdom veiled in unpredictable narratives. The sudden appearance of a human corpse disrupted their conversation, laying bare the stark reality of their surroundings. It was a chilling reminder that danger was never far away. The lieutenant's gaze honed in on the victim's name tag, revealing the identity of the fallen, Shuxia, a name that held little meaning yet resonated with a sense of foreboding uncertainty. The presence of Shuxia's inexplicably disappeared corpse near the canyon stirred a whirlwind of unsettling questions. How had it been transported here? Was there a force at play that orchestrated its placement? The gory evidence on the body hinted at a gruesome end, an attack by monstrous creatures that had ravaged the vital parts, leaving clean incisions around the abdomen. What kind of creature could inflict such precise wounds? It was an enigma that gnawed at their thoughts. Unexpectedly, the lieutenant interjected with an unexpected revelation. The wounds bore human bite marks. Xiao Su's incredulousness mirrored his internal disbelief. Could it truly be human teeth marks? The lieutenant's peculiar anecdote from his past lent an air of absurdity to the situation, provoking Xiao Su's reminder that this was not the time for nostalgic tales. The speculation continued, contemplating the possibility of cannibalism among the humans in these treacherous woods. Their conjectures only deepened the shadow of uncertainty hanging over them, blurring the line between sanity and savagery. Xiao Su's daring inquiry about the chained creature from the previous night Could it be human? Hinted at the ominous and bizarre possibilities that the mountains concealed. Suddenly, gunshots pierced the air, jolting the squad into heightened alertness. Xiao Jin's commanding presence surged to the forefront as she orchestrated a tactical formation, a display of strategy that left Xiao Su momentarily bewildered. He sought understanding, and Xiao Jin explained the formation, an intuitive dance of vigilance and readiness, instructing Xiao Su to guard her left. As they executed their tactical maneuver, the realization dawned upon the lieutenant that their proximity to the mountain's secret had spurred external aggression. The echoes of gunfire came nearer, underscoring the urgency of their pursuit. A bullet casing landing before them, unmistakably the work of the Qing Consortium, signaled that the organization had sprung into action. Within this tense atmosphere, a boar crossed their path, tempting the squad with a source of sustenance. However, the lieutenant cautioned restraint, reminding them of the danger that revealing their location through fire and cooking might entail. Sarcastic envy slipped from Xiao Su's lips, highlighting the intricacies of survival, balancing evolution with the necessity of adaptability. As the debate between joining the Qing Consortium or resisting their presence ensued, Xiao Jin's pragmatic voice emerged, steering the squad toward a sobering reality. The Qing Consortium's motives were clear. They sought the secret, and they wouldn't spare them. The path forward required ruthlessness, a recognition that kindness to an enemy equated to cruelty to oneself. It was a decision born of necessity, underpinned by the dire circumstances they faced. Their progression continued, marked by sporadic gunshots that eventually subsided into an eerie silence. A whispered conversation between the lieutenant and Xiao Su hinted at the strategy of guerrilla warfare, a maneuver that might necessitate abandoning the slower members of the group to ensure their survival. However, the pursuit of the secret remained paramount, a goal they couldn't forsake. Xiao Jin's sudden absence sent ripples of unease through the group, a chilling reminder of the perilous realm they traversed. The haunting sound of chains clanking, reminiscent of their previous encounter, filled the air once more. Was Xiao Jin ensnared by the same creature that had menaced them before? The unknown loomed, casting an impenetrable shadow over their quest. With chaos and uncertainty unfolding around them, Xiao Su and the lieutenant had split away from their trio of companions, each group seeking survival in its unique way. As they raced ahead, Wang Lei, Luo Xing, and Liu fought to put distance between themselves and the ominous threat pursuing them. In a desperate bid to escape, Liu resorted to a calculated move, tripping Wang Lei to buy precious moments, a move that tugged at the thin thread of camaraderie that once united them. Running brought the trio face to face with a different kind of danger. Armed soldiers, whose menacing orders forced Liu and Luo Xing to their knees. The soldiers' rifles unleashed a barrage of bullets toward the relentless monster, a scene that unfolded in stark contrast to Xiao Su's isolated struggle. Xiao Su's thoughts drifted to the past, recalling how the group formed a fleeting alliance when Xiao Jin was still with them. With her mysterious disappearance, the fragile cohesion they had managed to muster crumbled into fragments. Both Xiao Su and the lieutenant were left navigating this perilous terrain on their own, bound by circumstances rather than trust. As he ventured forward, the question that haunted him was the same one that had driven others into this mountain. What was this secret they were all striving to uncover? Amid the uncertainty, Xiao Su resolutely chose to press on. There was no turning back now. Not when he had come this far, but there was more to gain than mere survival. He was driven by the desire to discover the truth hidden within these enigmatic mountains. As the landscape shifted around him, Xiao Su's footsteps were guided by curiosity and a willingness to take risks. The trail led him to a gathering of people from the Qing Consortium. Their conversations revealed snippets of their motives, references to a test subject, and discussions about the difficulties they faced in overcoming it. While their attention was elsewhere, Xiao Su saw his opportunity. Like a phantom, he moved with stealth, carefully avoiding their line of sight. Amid their chatter, he caught fragments of their intent. They were pursuing a test subject, something they deemed a challenge to overcome. The consortium's mission seemed to be to capture and harness this mysterious entity. The sound of distant explosions drew his attention, leading him to a site where the ground was being pounded, as though an excavation was underway. It was a chilling sight, reminiscent of a hunt, yet it was the beast that was being hunted. Its once free existence now reduced to a captive existence, subject to the ruthless scrutiny of human hands. Xiao Su's thoughts raced, piecing together a chilling puzzle. The mountains concealed not only danger, but also the tragic fate of the mutated creatures that had found themselves at the mercy of human curiosity. As he observed this scene of exploitation and manipulation, he couldn't help but feel the weight of the secrets these mountains held. Amid the remnants of the past, Xiao Su stood perched atop a decaying building, his gaze fixed on a figure in a white suit. Under normal circumstances, he would have deemed such attire foolish in the wilderness, but this was different. He assumed that this person must be the commander, and as the commander, they might not be keen on engaging in combat. His keen observations noted the stringent security measures in place, a formidable assembly of over 1,000 well-trained soldiers, The Qing Consortium had committed significant resources to unearth the secret referenced by the lieutenant. The odds of Xiao Su wresting anything valuable from their grasp seemed grim. Pausing amidst the rubble, his mind oscillated between options. The allure of discovering the enigmatic secret tugged at him, yet a nagging realization surfaced. Risking his life for an undisclosed and possibly hazardous secret seemed irrational. He pondered the notion of walking away, an internal struggle brewing. Do I just leave like this? He mused aloud. As he treaded through the remains of what was once a thriving city, Xiao Su couldn't help but marvel at the skeletal remains of grand structures. Once bustling with life, these streets bore witness to the bygone splendor of a society now relegated to echoes and memories. Amid the ruins, remnants of daily life emerged: salon shops, snack stalls, even footbaths. Xiao Su's imagination transported him to the days when the city was alive, awash with vibrant energy. His explorations led him to curious finds: a cigarette and alcohol shop. A relic of the past, these items were now rare commodities. His thoughts danced around amassing wealth, envisaging himself as the town's newfound millionaire. Yet, his hopes were dashed when the items within the store, trapped in plastic, had succumbed to decay. This grim reality quashed his dreams of prosperity. His search for riches continued, revealing a life-size plastic doll that left him pondering the curiosities of the past. A fleeting resemblance to Xiao Jin crossed his mind, but a mishap punctured the inflated effigy. Undeterred, he scoured through more stores, stumbling upon the label, Lao Bai Jin. Could this indicate gold? A closer look unveiled a different truth, a mere assortment of pills. Cynical thoughts crossed his mind. Were the tales of the pre-calamity world merely falsehoods? Undeterred, Xiao Su yearned for tangible wealth, convinced that this sprawling metropolis held treasures yet undiscovered. While Xiao Su's exploration continued, in another corner of this tumultuous world, Luan and Yu Jie grappled with their reality. Gratitude flowed from Luan to Yu Jie, who had been a nurturing presence during his bout of fever. She brushed off his formality, reassuring him that all was well now that his fever had subsided. Amid their shared moments, Luan's mind wandered to Xiao Su, his concern evident. Yu Jie, ever the understanding presence, provided solace. As night enveloped them, the specter of fever returned to haunt Luan. He acknowledged the unspoken warmth he had found in Yu Jie's care, pondering her motivations for staying with them instead of capitalizing on their wealth. Their bond deepened, and amidst the mundane routines of rest, they prepared to sleep. However, a sudden intrusion shattered the tranquility, an uninvited presence in their sanctum. Swift and resolute, Yu Jie grabbed a weapon, shielding Luan as she ventured outside to confront the shadows that threatened their haven. In the throes of a tense encounter, Yu Jie's exit was thwarted by the sudden intrusion of several men. With a grip like steel, one of the assailants seized her throat, her plea for release a desperate whisper. Swiftly they advanced toward Luan, intent on violence. Yet Luan's instincts ignited, and he nimbly evaded their lethal intent. Recognition dawned upon him. These were the same men who had been lurking in the town. Their sinister motives had turned toward the school, targeting Sister Yu Jie, who had ventured out to procure nourishment and supplements for Luan during his illness. Amid this crisis, an unexpected savior emerged: Mr. Zhang. Luan's mind raced, contemplating the audacity of these men. They not only dared to invade their sanctuary, but also lay nefarious designs on their educators and the safety of the school. A gunshot pierced the air, the resounding echo a testament to Luan's resolve. The intruder crumpled to the ground, a victim of Luan's swift action. 2 more shots followed suit as the remaining assailants fled, their escape cut short by Luan's unrelenting aim. Mr. Zhang's incredulous gaze met Luan's audacious feat. Though aware of Xiao Su's penchant for ruthlessness, the idea that a 13-year-old would take a life shocked him. Yuan trembled, grappling with the weight of his actions. Yu Jie offered comfort, her embrace a shelter against the storm of his emotions. Mr. Zhang, his voice steady, inquired about the source of the gun. Luan recounted how he ventured into the wilds to conceal it, never anticipating he'd wield it so soon. Determination etched across Luan's face. He insisted on leaving town to prevent entangling Mr. Zhang in their strife. Yet, Mr. Zhang's wisdom cautioned against hasty decisions, asserting that their departure wasn't the safest course of action. Shouldering the responsibility, he resolved to manage this crisis on their behalf. The plot thickened as new players emerged on the scene, confronting the chaos head-on. Men materialized, their presence formidable, and the accusations palpable in the air. Accusations that pointed directly at Xiao Su as the wielder of the gun. Rich Man Wang interjected, endeavoring to dispel the rising tension with reason. The man from earlier, Wan Dong's brother, stood resolute in his conviction that Xiao Su was responsible for his sibling's death. The soldiers moved with intent, poised to seize the accused. Yet before the situation spiraled further, Mr. Zhang stepped forward, halting the soldiers in their tracks. A letter materialized, a conduit of communication, a plea to meet with Fat Luo. The tension hung heavy as this unexpected turn of events shifted the balance of power. The once ferocious soldiers hesitated a pause that held within it the potential for change. The unfolding narrative wove together disparate threads of humanity: fear, conviction, and the persistent call of responsibility, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the impending confrontation. Amidst the unfolding chaos, the situation took an unexpected turn. Did the man before them just address someone as Fat Luo? The soldiers exchanged puzzled glances, their confusion evident. In swift succession, the commander seized the letter from Mr. Zhang's grasp, the words etched upon it causing a ripple of realization. The letter bore the emblem of Barrier 178, a place of significance it seemed. Urgency surged within the commander as he hastened to his vehicle, issuing orders for one soldier to keep watch over Luan, Yujie, and Mr. Zhang. As the soldiers commenced their search for Luan, they were met with a potent glare that sent a shiver racing down their spines. The tension was palpable as they enacted their task, their uncertainty a stark contrast to Luan's unwavering gaze. During this turmoil, Yujie voiced her concern for Mr. Zhang's safety. In response, Luan extended his apologies for dragging him into this quagmire. With a measured response, Mr. Zhang assured him of the righteousness of his actions, expressing gratitude for Luan's courageous intervention earlier. Curiosity piqued, Luan inquired about Mr. Zhang's life prior to becoming a teacher. The revelation came as a surprise. Mr. Zhang had served in the army. Luan probed further, wondering about his decision to leave such a profession. The truth unveiled a complex sentiment. Mr. Zhang believed that wars could save humanity. His subsequent choice to recruit Xiao Su as a replacement teacher was driven by the desire to pave the way for his departure from the region, back to Saibei, a place in the far northwest where snow remained unyielding even in spring, blanketing the land in a monochrome tapestry. Luan couldn't fathom why Mr. Zhang wished to return to such an unforgiving landscape. The answer was elusive. Mr. Zhang spoke of a changing world and people waiting for him in Saibei. Waiting. A word that echoed in Luan's thoughts, raising questions about the enigmatic facets of Mr. Zhang's past. With a comforting tone, Mr. Zhang reassured Luan that after this incident, they wouldn't dare to harm him. Ultimately, they could only send him back to Barrier 178. Meanwhile, the man who had intercepted Mr. Zhang's letter relayed its contents to an unseen figure over the phone. The information stirred a shocked response. The revelation of Jiang Jin's presence seemed to catch them off guard. Within the towering shadows of power, Boss Luo engaged in dialogue with the Qing Consortium's commander in the Jin Mountains. The topic of Mr. Zhang lingered. Luo contemplated ending his life, but the commander warned against such a move, highlighting the backlash from Barrier 178. Their conversation shifted, touching on various matters, including the intriguing enigma of Luo Xing, a singer for 2 years, and Xiao Su's familial connections within the barriers. In a different space, Liu and Luo Xing found themselves face to face with the commander, their hands bound. Introductions followed, unveiling the commander as Qing Zhen, Luo Lan's younger brother. Despite the dire circumstances, an air of unexpected camaraderie lingered as introductions were exchanged, connections forming amidst a sea of uncertainty. Commander Qing's inquiries probe Liu and Luo Xing about Lieutenant Xiao Jin and Xiao Su, intrigued by the similarity in names between the latter two. Luo Xing clarifies that there's no connection between them, and Liu reveals the lieutenant's supernatural abilities. He emphasizes that the one to watch out for is Xiao Su. When asked why, Luo Xing bluntly replies that he's simply more annoying. The response is met with a stern, resounding no from Liu, who quickly corrects the statement, stating that Xiao Su is in fact very powerful. Liu goes on to recount a startling incident during their escape from the Canyon of Insects. Xiao Su went against the fleeing tide, carrying an adult effortlessly with one arm. The commander, intrigued, delves deeper, asking if there's anything else. However, Liu claims that's all he knows. The commander issues orders for one of his men to record the information, writing down their names, threat levels, and capabilities. Xiao Su is deemed a level F threat, while the lieutenant is categorized as level C. Liu inquires about their fate, to which the commander cryptically responds that he will find out soon enough. As their journey continues, a grim sight unfolds before them. The monstrous creature they had encountered earlier, bearing the same telltale bite marks as Shuxia's corpse. Fear seizes Liu as he questions the nature of this abomination. Commander Qing unveils a chilling truth. These are products from the pre-calamity era, newly discovered and referred to as test subjects. These entities have lost their human intelligence, but possess uncanny physical prowess, prompting Luo Xing to deduce that the Qing Consortium must be scouring the mountains to locate their hidden facility. Commander Qing delves deeper, explaining that humans are born from the process of cellular division. Under normal circumstances, cells will divide an average of 50 times before ceasing their functions, ultimately resulting in aging and death. However, he suspects the lab has discovered a way to achieve infinite cell division, potentially extending human lifespans. But the consequences are evident. These test subjects, while lacking human intelligence, display exceptional physical attributes. Their capture demands the sacrifice of numerous comrades and extensive tactical efforts. Commander Qing issues orders for one of his men to record the information, evolve teeth, narrowed pupils, and adaptation to crawling. He questions whether these beings, now beyond the realm of humanity, could be considered products of genetic manipulation. The laboratory responsible is believed to be Tindercorp's secret base from the pre-Calamity days. He raises a pivotal question. Will this technology benefit the Qing Consortium, or will it herald unforeseen consequences? As their journey unfolds, mysteries intertwine, with humanity's past and present converging in unexpected ways. Commander Qing orders his soldier to shine a powerful light on the test subject, observing its fearful response. The soldier explains that two factors contribute to this fear: the remnants of its human personality, unable to accept its transformed state, and the instinctual fear of light inherited from its beast-like modifications. Qing decides that one test subject is enough for their research purposes, and instructs his men to eliminate any others they encounter to prevent further casualties. As the commander ponders the creature's aversion to light, he wonders if it has evolved further, or if something is luring it out into the open, even in daylight. He considers the possibility of the trio, Lieutenant Xiaosu and Xiao Jin, being connected to these developments. The enigmatic city they explore unfolds with grandeur, prompting Xiaosu to question if all stores were this lavish before the calamity. Xiaosu's quest for valuables leads him to a goldsmith shop, where he discovers gold bars amidst tarnished silverware. Determined to take the gold home, he devises a clever plan to use his inventory space to transport the precious metal safely. With the gold securely stored, he becomes aware of Qing's army patrolling the streets, unaware that they are searching for him. He senses an unusual tension in the air, suspecting danger lurks nearby. Backtracking to an earlier scene, it's revealed that when Xiaosu had inadvertently disturbed some dolls in a shop, his meticulous nature led him to neatly arrange them back in place. An observant soldier had noticed this seemingly insignificant detail. Now, Xiaosu, separated from this past event, wonders if the soldiers have moved on. However, a lone soldier tracks his movements and stealthily approaches the very shop Xiaosu had visited earlier. Will the soldier uncover Xiaosu's presence, escalating the tense encounter? The story weaves its threads tighter, as secrets and intentions collide in a city that holds more mysteries than meets the eye. Xiaosu's heart pounded in his chest as he pondered the unexpected arrival of the Qing tactical team. Their sudden appearance made him question the loyalty of his captured companions. Did Lu and the others reveal his identity to the Qing Corporation? It seemed plausible, considering their predicament. The realization forced Xiaosu to reluctantly part with the golden bounty he had collected in his cape. The weight of the decision settled heavily upon him, but he knew that escaping with his life took precedence. As the Qing soldiers fanned out, one of them stumbled upon Xiaosu's abandoned cape, the glint of gold within catching his eye. Curiosity piqued. He bent down to investigate and discovered the treasure concealed within. At the same time, a muffled sound from above caused another soldier's head to snap up. It could only mean one thing. The target might be attempting an escape via the upper floors. The commander's mind raced with questions, puzzling over the choice of ascent. Surely climbing upward would lead to entrapment on the rooftop. Unless an epiphany flashed through the commander's thoughts. Could Xiaosu be aware of a nearby building, one that could serve as a secondary escape route? Acting swiftly, the commander issued orders to secure the adjacent structure, bracing for Xiaosu's anticipated move. But even before the plan could fully materialize, another thud echoed through the air. It was a testament to Xiaosu's audacious leap across not one, but two buildings. The commander's surprise deepened as he realized the extent of Xiaosu's agility and strength, prompting a reassessment of his capabilities. Amid his daring escape, Xiaosu's focus narrowed on a distant figure perched atop yet another building. The observer remained shrouded in shadow, their intent unclear. The encounter sent a shiver down Xiaosu's spine, a chilling reminder of the perilous world he navigated. With the Qing tactical team closing in, the enigmatic cityscape intertwined with the imminent threat, propelling Xiaosu's journey into an unforeseen and suspenseful new chapter. Amidst the tension-laden rooftop standoff, Xiaosu's eyes widened in astonishment as he recognized the enigmatic figure perched on the distant building. It was Xiao Jin. She was positioned there with a purpose, a cold determination etched into her stance. Her target? The man adorned in the white coat, Commander Qing, the very man who had led the Qing tactical team to their location. Xiaosu couldn't help but marvel at the audacity of her intent. Trying to kill a high-ranking figure from such a distance was an incredibly ambitious feat. As the thoughts whirled through Xiaosu's mind, he contemplated the complex factors that contributed to successful long-range sniping. Wing pressure, wind direction, temperature, humidity. The elements of the environment converged to challenge the accuracy of every shot. And that's not all. The terrain, the target's movements, and even the geostrophic deflection force had to be factored in. Xiaosu couldn't help but wonder how Xiao Jin planned to snipe at such an extreme range, and whether she had taken all these variables into account. His moment of speculation was interrupted by an unexpected twist. The wind ceased to rustle through the air. It was a peculiar momentary calm that prompted Xiaosu to glance back at Xiao Jin. his heart racing in anticipation. This was it, he thought. Now she would take her shot. Yet contrary to his expectations, the trigger remained untouched. Xiao Jin didn't fire. Confusion clouded Xiao Su's mind until he realized that the true action was unfolding elsewhere. Luo Xing, her thumb no longer restrained by the tie, was launching herself toward Commander Qing with a blade in her hand. It was a swift and desperate maneuver, an attempt to eliminate the target at close range. But just as Luo Xing's blade inched dangerously close to the commander, his bodyguard sprang into action, deflecting her attack with expert precision. But then, in an astonishing display of power, Luo Xing teleported. She was a superhuman. It was a revelation that left Xiao Su staggered, his belief in the extraordinary capabilities of this new world further reinforced, and in an instant, Luo Xing's position shifted, the blade aimed not at the commander, but at his protector. Simultaneously, a gunshot reverberated through the air. Xiao Jin's bullet was unleashed, yet, in an unexpected twist of fate, it wasn't Commander Qing who took the hit. The bullet found its mark on the bodyguard, leaving him crumpling to the ground in agony. The other soldiers scrambled to pinpoint the source of the sniper fire, their urgency mirroring the chaos of the situation. Amidst the tumult, Commander Qing assessed the situation with a mixture of surprise and contemplation. The bullet's impact sparked recognition. Those thugs, that organization, rumored to lurk within the corridors of power. Xiao Su, still observing from a distance, was left to grapple with the realization that the web of intrigue and danger he had become entangled in stretched further than he ever imagined. As the dust settled, the rooftop became a battleground where secrets and intentions converged, forever altering the course of their fates. Commander Qing, his voice laced with suspicion, confronted Liu about the hidden truth, the fact that Luo Xing possessed the abilities of a superhuman. Liu trembled under the commander's scrutiny, unable to mask the revelation any longer. In a chilling twist, the commander abruptly released him from his grip, casting aside the life he could have taken with a flicker of his intention. Watching from his vantage point, Xiao Su's thoughts spun with the unfolding drama. The coordination between Xiao Jin and Luo Xing had been executed with flawless precision, a theatrical display that had masked their true alliance. Xiao Su reflected on the times he had perceived them together, particularly when Xiao Jin had saved Luo Xing. He had brushed it off as simple companionship, never fathoming the depth of their alliance. As he processed the unexpected revelation, questions swarmed in Xiao Su's mind. Why did Xiao Jin and Luo Xing want to eliminate Qing Zhen? What significance did Qing Zhen hold, and what power lay within his grasp? Xiao Su was abruptly pulled from his thoughts as he realized that Xiao Jin's rifle was now trained on him. He was left bewildered, attempting to decipher her intentions. Was she planning to eliminate him in front of the Qing Corporation? Or was this somehow related to Luo Xing? He battled his suspicion, wondering if this might be retaliation for his perceived neglect of Luo Xing during their journey. Was this a form of revenge orchestrated by them? However, before Xiao Su could make sense of the situation, both Xiao Jin and Luo Xing abruptly fled, leaving him in a state of disbelief. Their hasty departure added yet another layer of intrigue to an already bewildering scenario. The soldiers who had pursued Xiao Su shifted their attention, now focused on capturing him, swiftly retaliating against the soldiers. Xiao Su employed his counterattacks with calculated precision, while strategically making his escape. Navigating the precarious situation, Xiao Su realized that he must find a solution to Qing's relentless pursuit. His mind raced as he strategized his next move. With the soldiers hot on his trail, he discerned that his best chance lay in the dense forest, his sanctuary, his advantage. He knew the terrain, understood its subtleties, and could exploit its intricacies to outmaneuver his pursuers. But just as he was about to plunge into the shelter of the forest, a sight of unparalleled magnitude seized his attention, a volcano erupting in the distance. The soldiers, watching the same spectacle, reached their conclusions, that if Xiao Su were to head toward the volcano, he might vanish forever into its fiery depths. The choice stood before him: press on toward the forest, where his skills were unrivaled, or confront the volcano's perilous unknown. As the world churned with uncertainty and chaos, the weight of this decision rested squarely on Xiao Su's shoulders. Would he make a daring escape into the forest, or would he face the tempestuous fury of the erupting volcano in an act of desperate defiance? During the chaos and danger, Xiao Su made a resolute decision: to keep moving forward. The path behind him was fraught with peril. Turning back would be a death sentence. The relentless pursuit by the soldiers continued, their determination unwavering as they combed through the landscape for any sign of their elusive target. Commander Qing's orders were simple: capture or kill Xiao Su on sight. Navigating the unpredictable terrain with a mixture of instinct and desperation, Xiao Su conceived a bold plan. He leaped onto a high tree branch and in a heart-pounding twist declared himself to be Xu Xian, the lieutenant, rather than Xiao Su. The soldiers, taken aback by this sudden turn of events, opened fire, but Xiao Su's agility and speed proved too much for them. Evading the bullets, he left the soldiers in awe, wondering how a seemingly ordinary human could exhibit such astonishing swiftness. Amid the gunfire, their commander intervened with a perplexing directive. The target they were after was not Xiao Su, but Xian. Xiao Su's ruse had worked beyond his expectations. He continued his desperate escape, his thoughts a whirlwind of disbelief and calculation. He reflected on the astounding abilities of those he had encountered on this perilous journey. Xiao Jin's ability to summon a rifle seemingly out of thin air, Xian's power to manipulate his own shadow, Luo Xing's uncanny skill to traverse using her shadow, and even Qing Chen's bodyguard sacrificing himself to protect his commander. Each of them had concealed their true nature until this very moment, revealing their superhuman abilities only when necessary. Xiao Su grappled with the weight of his hidden power. He had concealed his abilities to protect himself, realizing that in this world, showcasing such talents could lead to dire consequences. That realization drove his decision to assume the identity of Xian, a calculated move to keep his true self concealed and his enemies off balance. However, the cost of using his shadow as a distraction became painfully apparent. The wounds his shadow endured now manifested on his own body. As the soldier's pursuit faded into the distance, Xiao Su took a moment to catch his breath and collect his thoughts. He knew that he needed to devise an escape plan, a way to elude Qing Chen's grasp once and for all. Just as he began to contemplate his next move, a sound pierced the air. An eerie clanking of chains. Dread settled over him like a heavy cloak. It wasn't just one test subject. There were more of them lurking nearby, their presence a haunting reminder of the sinister secrets that these mountains held. With his heart pounding, Xiao Su braced himself for whatever dangers lay ahead, determined to unravel the mysteries of the past and secure his survival in this treacherous world. Amidst the looming threat of the test subjects closing in, Xiao Su's mind raced through his options. He knew that firing a gun would not only expose his location to Qing's forces, but could also provoke the enigmatic test subjects. He quickly realized that close-range combat would be more effective against these creatures, prompting him to rely solely on his dagger. A dagger would allow him to strike swiftly and silently, without alerting the enemy or attracting unwanted attention. However, his plans unraveled as he reached for his trusty dagger, only to find it missing. Panic surged through him, and a disturbing thought entered his mind. Could Xiao Jin have taken it? Doubt gnawed at the foundation of their trust, casting shadows over their once unwavering bond. With little time to spare, Xiao Su decided he must act swiftly to defend himself before he became prey to the advancing test subjects. Before he could initiate his counterattack, a test subject materialized behind him, its movement swift and unexpected. A searing pain coursed through Xiao Su as a subject sliced his back. Reacting on instinct, he threw a punch, only to witness his attack bounce off the subject's thick, resilient skin. The realization dawned upon him. Without a weapon, he was vulnerable, and his chances of survival diminished with each passing moment. The ensuing clash was merciless. Xiao Su's body endured blow after blow, bruises forming like dark constellations across his skin. The test subject's relentless assault pushed him to the brink of exhaustion and desperation. Frustration built within him as he grappled with the reality of his situation. Cornered and weaponless, his chances of emerging victorious grew increasingly slim. Amidst the desperate struggle, the palace's screen illuminated, a beacon of hope in the darkness. A message blinked on the screen. Death threat detected. Do you want to remove the seal? Confusion and desperation mingled within Xiao Su as he contemplated this cryptic message. He questioned the purpose of this seal, the implication of loss, and the dire consequences that seemed imminent. With a surge of frustration and anger, he demanded answers from the palace. The exchange between him and the palace became a torrent of emotions. He railed against the idea of losing everything he fought for, the challenges he surmounted, and the pain he endured. His voice trembled with a mixture of defiance and despair. And then, finally, an answer surfaced. A glimmer of hope, an opportunity to unlock the potential within him. In a moment of sheer determination, he demanded, "Unlock!" The word reverberated through the air, a declaration of his unwavering spirit. It was a reflection of every obstacle he overcame, every ounce of strength he had drawn upon, and every ounce of self-reliance he had cultivated. As the palace responded to his command, a sense of renewal coursed through him, igniting a fire that was momentarily dimmed by adversity. At this moment, the weight of his struggles, his sacrifices, and his relentless pursuit of survival coalesced into a single, resolute purpose: to overcome the odds, to unlock his true potential, and to emerge from this crucible stronger, fiercer, and unyielding. With newfound resolve burning within him, Xiao Su readied himself for the battle ahead, determined to face the test subjects head-on and prove that even in the face of despair, the human spirit could rise to conquer any challenge. As the test subjects closed in on Xiao Su, their eerie presence almost suffocating, he felt the cold grip of despair tightening around him. But just as he thought his end was inevitable, a glimmer of hope emerged in the form of a weapon, his weapon. A long, sleek blade, crimson red and gleaming in the fading light, materialized in his hands. The weight of the blade felt reassuring, and with it, a surge of newfound strength coursed through him. With his weapon in hand, Xiao Su's movements became a blur of precision and fluidity. Slashing through the test subjects that surrounded him, he left a trail of swift and graceful strikes, each one a testament to his determination to survive. His blade gleamed in the moonlight, its deadly dance a symphony of destruction as he wove through the adversaries that had once overwhelmed him. The aid of his shadow manipulation proved invaluable. Shadows lashed out, immobilizing and ensnaring the test subjects, allowing Xiao Su to strike with deadly accuracy. With every swing, the shadow would cooperate, reinforcing his attacks and creating a deadly synergy that amplified his combat prowess. As the final test subject fell before him, Xiao Su stood amidst the aftermath of the battle, his heaving breath the only sound that broke the silence. The palace's screen blinked with a notification. Side mission activated. Receive 1,000 appreciation tokens, able to unlock mid-tier weapon as a reward. The magnitude of his achievement began to sink in. It was a testament not only to his skill, but also to his indomitable will to survive. Xiao Su marveled at the weapon in his hand, its intricate design and lethal aura reflecting the power he had just harnessed. He realized that he had tapped into a realm beyond his previous limitations, and a sense of exhilaration surged within him. He had felt the might of a superhuman coursing through his veins, and it was an experience he would never forget. Meanwhile, the soldiers from Qing's faction approached the scene, their expressions a mixture of shock and awe. The sight before them was inconceivable. Xiao Su, or rather Xu Xian in their eyes, had single-handedly dismantled 4 test subjects, a feat that defied logic and exceeded their expectations. The sheer prowess he displayed left them grappling with the realization that he was no ordinary individual. Back at Qing's command center, the commander relayed the astonishing events to his superior. Qing was intrigued by the turn of events, realizing that the dangerous and enigmatic individual they had designated as Xu Xian had showcased unprecedented combat prowess. The commander's report fueled Qing's curiosity, and he began to see Xiao Su, or Xu Xian, as an asset with untapped potential. Intrigued, Qing ordered his subordinates to collect samples of Xu Xian's blood, aiming to unravel the secrets of his extraordinary abilities. Unbeknownst to him, the ruse of Xiao Su impersonating Xu Xian was still in play. Qing contemplated the possibility of harnessing Xiao Su's power as leverage against Mr. Zhang Li, a strategy that could potentially shift the balance of power. However, the commander's thoughts of manipulation and control held little significance in the grander scheme of Xiao Su's current reality. As he continued to evade pursuit, a new threat emerged on the horizon: swarms of test subjects. Xiao Su's heart raced as he realized that his escape had led him straight into the path of an even greater danger. With the swarm drawing near, his survival instincts kicked in once again, propelling him to make a fateful decision that would determine the next chapter of his harrowing journey. Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, Xiao Su's quick thinking provided him a momentary respite. He watched as the test subjects descended upon the soldiers with a ferocity that could only come from beings that were stripped of their humanity. The once fierce soldiers, who had been relentless in their pursuit of him, now found themselves outnumbered and outmatched. The clash between the test subjects and the soldiers was a fierce and frenzied spectacle, a cacophony of snarls and gunshots that echoed through the air. Xiao Su took advantage of the distraction and quickly retreated further into the wilderness. As he ran, his mind raced, piecing together the events that previously unfolded. He understood that his escape had been a calculated maneuver, one that not only saved his life, but also hindered Qing's men. It was a grim reminder of the precarious balance of power in this new world, where survival often meant seizing any opportunity, no matter how ruthless. The soldier's commander, Qing's brother, watched as the test subjects unleashed their fury upon his men. He cursed his underestimation of Xu Xian's resourcefulness. The strategist in him recognized the brilliance of Xu Xian's ploy, to use the test subjects as both a means of escape and a way to sow chaos among his pursuers. It was a double-edged sword, a gambit that showcased Xu Xian's cunning and adaptability. As Qing's forces regrouped and established a defensive line in the city, the commander couldn't shake the nagging question that gnawed at him. Why had the test subjects suddenly surged in number? The revelation struck him like a bolt of lightning. The possibility that Tinder Corp might have intentionally misled them, sacrificing their creation to eliminate Qingzhen's threat. It was a ruthless calculation, one that highlighted the cold pragmatism that governed the post-calamity world. Xiao Su, now far from the immediate danger, found himself pondering the enigma of Qingzhen. The soldiers' unwavering loyalty to him, their willingness to face certain death, left him intrigued. What kind of power did Qingzhen hold over them? What secrets were hidden within his capabilities? Xiao Su's encounter with Qingzhen had ignited a curiosity that refused to be extinguished. As he journeyed deeper into the wilderness, his thoughts were interrupted by an otherworldly sight. A creature emerging from the mouth of the volcano, a creature seemingly impervious to the molten lava that surrounded it. Xiao Su's heart raced as he observed the beast's form, a melding of fire and fury, a guardian of the volcano's depths. Its emergence was a stark reminder of the untamed forces that lay dormant beneath the Earth's surface, forces that could reshape the very fabric of the world. Qingzhen, watching from a distance, knew the danger that the creature represented. He ordered his men to retreat, recognizing that their mission failed. His voice was tinged with a mix of frustration and urgency as he instructed one of his subordinates to send a message to his brother. The fate of Barrier 113 hung in the balance, and Qing Zhen understood the weight of the impending threat. Xiao Su, now alone in the wilderness, watched as the soldiers retreated and the creature's fiery gaze shifted away from him. He knew that his path was far from over, that the mysteries of this world were vast and complex, but he was determined to uncover the truth, to navigate the treacherous landscape and emerge stronger than ever. With his crimson blade at his side and his shadows as his allies, he ventured forth into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges awaited him.
Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and comment for part 2, and follow Neon Bing's epic adventure.